Welcome to the PigPenPodcast. I am your host, Damien,
And I'm your host, Justin.
and today we are continuing the Exposition Seat
Yes.
on Metal Gear Solid 2. Uh,
Yes, we are. And if you don't know, the Exposition Seat is our show where one of us knows a whole lot of information about a piece of media that the other does not know anything about. And at this point, before we started this show, I didn't know anything about Metal Gear, but now I know quite a bit more. And Damien, who is in the Exposition Seat, is going to continue to fill me with knowledge.
I will be filling him harder and faster every episode because, as everyone at home,
Hold on.
what?
Continue.
As everyone knows, Metal Gear it gets crazier and crazier as it goes on. Um,
Yeah, which is quite a daunting thought because last episode was getting confused and apparently it gets more confusing.
yeah, so if you're tuning in for the first time, all right, this is a part two to Metal Gear Solid 2. All right, so we did part one in the last episode. Is we got pretty far into it. We're about, I'd say, kind of like halfway through the game, but we're just before a certain section where everything starts to go haywire.
Mm,
The episode was running, and we're not trying to make every episode super long like we did our first one, so we had to cut into two parts. And so if you haven't listened to that, I would highly, highly, highly recommend going back and listening to part one before you listen to this episode.
yeah.
Um, but before we get into the actual game, there's a few things we got to mention. Do you know what those things are, Justin?
Yeah, I think a recap would be nice.
A recap would be nice.
Yeah.
Um,
For anyone listening and for me.
yeah, I agree. You all definitely need a quick little reminder. But you know what I need to remind you to do? I need to remind you to listen to YouTube and Spotify
Oh yeah.
because we're on both platforms.
How could I forget the plug?
I It's what I was trying to gift it to you.
I know
And
yeah,
you just
I realize that now. I
yeah.
I let you down.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, we're on YouTube and Spotify at Pigpen Podcast. Feel free to throw a subscribe or a 5-star on Spotify our way if you really feel so inclined. um, but now that our super genuine and totally not what's the word?
shameless.
Yeah, shameless. Now that our shameless plug is over. Oh, I mean not shameless plug. Let's get that little recap. Are you
It's
ready?
we can only say it's shameful if it involves money, but
Yeah, I mean
honestly,
we're a nonprofit.
we're a nonprofit
I have to
organization.
clarify because I don't know whether if we actually get popular eventually, but we're not a nonprofit. Okay, just got to put that out there. I don't know what that means legally, and I
Oh,
feel like if I say we're a nonprofit and then we actually make money off this eventually, sometime down the future, some fucking guy's gonna be like, "Oh, they lied. They seriously lied, and we literally need to sue all their money out of them now."
that sounds like yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
guess I guess I guess covering our bases now, but at the same time,
don't
um,
worry. I mean, we're on YouTube. I'm sure someone will want to sue us for some reason eventually.
and we're also on Spotify.
And Spotify. Yes, this is true. Feel free. All right. Now, let's get into that little recap. All right, Juice.
Yeah,
You ready, Juice?
let me hear it.
Okay. So, the big things you need to remember, um, the tanker incident at the beginning of the game
Yes,
was faked.
yes. It's a
Um,
frame,
Solid Snake
solid
and
snake.
Otacon.
Got it.
Solid, the biggest reveal in all of gaming history was Pliskin for the first half of this game.
Yeah.
Pliskin, remember
Yep. I
Iroquois?
remember the name.
Okay. Um, Raiden is our main character. We've been playing as Raiden this whole game.
Yes,
Um,
and he is very unsure of himself, and this is his first mission.
yeah. Um, Colonel Campbell's been sus the entire game. Do you
He's
remember that?
been yep. He's been pretty aggravated. It seems.
Yeah, no, he's definitely on one in this game. Um, the Patriots, apparently, according to the president, who is now dead, is a apparent shadow organization, shadow government.
Yes. Yes. The
Uh,
Illuminati of Metal Gear.
and Ocelot, we don't know what the hell he's doing. He's working for Dead Cell, the Patriots, the Lolly Low,
Yeah,
all of that shit.
he's the biggest he is the biggest wrench in all this because I don't know what he's up to.
Um,
which is, you know, something I'm gonna have to decipher here.
yeah, you really are, and good luck.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Um, all right. So if you remember at the end of part one, they Raiden rescued Emma Emmerich to help shut down Arsenal Gear. Do you remember what Arsenal Gear is?
I do. It is the yeah, it ended up being is like the entire place that they were at.
Yeah, Arsenal Gear is the big shell.
Yeah, it
The big
is
shell was
the
like
oh,
a
which is the
yeah,
fake oil
yep. All
recovery thing.
everything's a cover up. Welcome to Metal Gear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um,
And then Emma Emmerich passed away, and Otacon essentially, and then we learned some more tragic backstory, as this game likes to do.
yeah, Otacon's cool fucking backstory was pretty sad,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, and as was Emma's.
Emma's, I mean, I feel like it's less sad than Otacon's, but I mean, it's still sad by relation.
That's what I mean. It's just their whole family.
Dude, the Emmerichs, they hate their lives.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Emma just died. Otacon's sad. Um, the Emma's plan to like stop Arsenal failed, so Snake and Raiden got to head into Arsenal, and
Figure shit out.
Otacon's gonna go like help the rest of the hostages get away.
Cool. Cool.
That's
Cool.
where
Cool.
we're picking up.
All right, man. Let me have it.
Okay.
Let's get into this
All right.
climax.
Everyone at home ready? Got your little recap? Got all our little plugs in? Everyone all ready? Get ready to get some Metal Gear. Metal
I'm ready.
Gear.
I'm ready.
Okay. So as Arsenal Gear is ramping up to set out, it's gonna disconnect itself from like the rest of the big shell. Like remember how I said the big shell is like it's like a front on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna like it's gonna like disconnect the big shell. So
Okay.
the big shell is gonna collapse and everything's gonna like fall apart and like everything's gonna essentially be destroyed because it no longer has the support of being on top of Arsenal Gear.
Yes.
Okay. The since the big shell is going to be destroyed, everyone needs to get into Arsenal Gear or die, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's like trying to make their way onto Arsenal Gear right now. That's what everyone's trying to figure out. And Snake and Raiden head out to like go figure out how to get onto Arsenal Gear when they are ambushed by Mr. X. Do you remember Mr. X, Juice?
Hold on. Let me delve. Which game? Which game?
This game.
It is this game?
Yep, it's this game.
Oh, that's not good. Wait, is Mr. X is he part of Dead Cell?
No.
No. Um, you know what? I'm not gonna waste any time. Who is Mr. X?
It's the Cyborg Ninja, you remember?
Oh, really?
This the well, I mean there's another Cyborg Ninja
Why do
on
they
the big
keep
shell.
changing his damn name?
Well, is it the same Cyborg Ninja?
That's true.
It
So
he
it looks like Cyborg Ninja, but they're calling it Mr. X.
yes. I mean he looks pretty much the same, but he also has like differences enough
I see. I
that
see.
you can it looks just different enough.
I definitely remember. Yeah, because it was because like Cyborg or Mr. X came in, helped them fight somebody, right? The vampire.
No, Mr. X like showed up to rescue Raiden from being like killed by Ocelot because like Ocelot was about to
Okay.
figure out who he was, so Mr. X showed up and like
Right, because
took all
Raiden
their
was like undercover.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um,
Okay.
Mr. X has also told Raiden at this point in the game that Mr. X was sent in by the Patriot or not the Patriots, the Lalilulelo.
Yeah, which I have no idea what that is yet.
Yes, Mr. X has been sent in by the Lalilulelo to help
Such a
Raiden.
wild name.
The Lalilulelo, dude.
Yeah.
Why is it wild to you?
I don't know. I am impressed by how you consistently say it.
The Lalilulelo?
Yeah, because I don't know. I
Lalilulelo.
still don't know what combination of
Lalilulelo.
la lays and lows.
Lalilulelo.
Wait, I think I just did it. La lay lu la lay
La,
la
le,
lay
lu,
lu
li,
li.
lo.
Okay, la lay lu li lo.
La,
La lay li. Wait, just keep going.
Lalilulelo.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so Raiden and Snake are ambushed by Mr. X.
Yeah.
Snake kind of like steps
And
off to
wait,
the.
wait. Ambushed. So
Yeah.
they're fighting?
Well, like they're on their way to go get into Arsenal. Like they're trying to figure out how to get into Arsenal gear,
Right.
and like they're walking together, and then Mr. X jumps out of nowhere, and he's like standing in front of them.
So they don't know what's about to happen. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
But yeah, Snake he kind of like stands to the side. He like steps aside, and Mr. X starts walking towards Raiden, and he like corners Raiden.
Ooh.
What the hell? I
Ooh.
thought, why would Snake do that?
Okay.
Mr. X then says, he's like, it's like a mechanical voice, so obviously I'm not gonna sound perfect, but it's like bedtime, Raiden.
Bedtime.
Raiden, Raiden's like, Snake, you're changing sides now, and Snake is just like, changing sides. I don't recall saying I was on yours.
Yo.
And then Mr. X pulls back their helmet, like the helmet that
Mm-hmm.
they're wearing. And do you know who Mr. X is? It's finally revealed who Mr. X is.
Shoot, who is it?
It's Olga Gerlukovich.
Oh,
Remember the pregnant
from the
woman that
tanker
Snake
incident.
tranked up earlier?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
She's back.
Um, yeah, but then she turns to Raiden and stuns him. Like she like butts her sword up to his chest and like electricity flies out of it and like completely
Damn.
incapacitates Raiden.
Okay. Man, so this is interesting.
So we're kicking off.
Yeah.
Like I told you, we left at a good point, but it all goes batshit from here.
Okay.
So like we're just heading full into it.
Yeah. Man, so does this mean like see, I wonder if this means that Snake I don't think this means Snake's bad or anything, obviously, but it's definitely there's some there's some agendas being revealed right now, I feel like.
I mean, he said switching sides. I don't recall saying it was on yours. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite lines, dude. I love
Yeah.
that line.
Dude, cuz this is making me
Because like he's got like that like smirk on his face. Like I
yes.
don't recall saying it was on yours.
With the eyebrows.
Yeah, dude.
See, I have the thought now that Raiden because of all the shit with Campbell, I feel like Raiden because isn't hasn't Campbell been like telling Raiden to like just get back to the mission with the president or whatever?
Yeah, Raiden or Campbell has
Yeah.
just been like on Raiden shit the entire game about like Snake's not part of the simulation.
Yeah. Like I feel like Raiden's mission is actually going against Snake's like Snake's mission.
Yeah, you're saying that like Snake's actual agenda is not the same as Raiden's because Raiden is being controlled by Campbell and Campbell's being sus.
You said it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what's happening.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
All right. Well, then Raiden he starts coming to because like he passes out.
Yeah.
So time elapsed. We don't know how much time has elapsed, but he starts like coming to and like waking up from being unconscious. And there's some like bright lights over his face. He can barely see. However, he hears Ocelot and Solidus's voice. Ocelot says that he's checked all of the databases and he couldn't find a single thing on Raiden. He doesn't know who he is. Raiden doesn't exist according to any records. And he's like, he's a non existent operative from a non existent organization.
What?
Yeah, because remember, Ocelot told us that Foxhound was disbanded 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, you were like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But like to the player and to like everyone, no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Because Foxhound, we didn't know they disbanded.
right.
We had zero idea they
I had just
disbanded.
assumed, but it made sense when you said that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Foxhound doesn't exist. Raiden doesn't exist. What the fuck is he doing here?
Yes.
Okay. So Solidus, he's like, hey, I think I know this guy. I think I know who Raiden is. He then calls him Jack the Ripper. And if you remember, Raiden's real name is Jack.
What?
He's like, yeah, I remember you, Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper?
Yeah.
Damn.
And the camera kind of pans out and we see that Raiden, he is strung up on a torture chamber. Like in a torture
Like a
chamber,
table or
like
something?
yeah, like the first game. You remember when Snake got tortured? Ocelot tortured Snake, and remember, like if you failed it, you had to go
Oh,
back to your
yes.
last save.
Yeah, okay. Same thing.
It's the same exact thing.
And this is probably how like the way Ocelot killed
DARPA chief.
DARPA chief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, do
The
you
only
remember?
one who knows.
Do you remember? Like there was a couple bits in the last game or the last episode that I mentioned that like Raiden walks into a hallway and it looks exactly like the hallway that was from the first game. When the cyborg
Yeah.
ninja goes through,
Yeah, I didn't
there's
really
a
think a lot of that
no,
though.
there's a lot of parallels. Like there's a lot of things that happen that are very similar to the last game.
Okay.
Just planting that seed right in your dome.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So, dude, thoughts. I'm having thoughts now.
you're having thoughts.
Okay.
Sounds
Yeah.
great. But Raiden wakes up and he is in this. He's like strapped to this table, just like Snake was in the first game. The only difference, Raiden is completely naked.
Ooh.
He is
How
straight
would you
up.
know that playing the game? What are you seeing?
Uh, I mean, Solidus is like standing in front of him, so his shoulders covering his nuts, but like you see, like his legs, his body,
So, okay. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
completely naked, dick and balls hanging out and everything
Damn. On a torture table?
on a cold metal torture table.
Yeah, this is that's probably one of the worst places you can find yourself.
I mean, imagine like getting stunned by a cyborg ninja and then waking up on a torture chamber,
Butt ass naked.
balls out.
Yeah. And there's a dude named Ocelot standing in front of you. You're
He's
dead.
just
You're done.
muscle lot. Yeah.
Okay.
I for anyone listening, I love to pretend like I love to be like, "Oh yeah, so what does this character sound like?" And then I just somehow always end up just doing Snake's voice again. So,
Yeah, that one sounded like Raiden.
yeah, right in he tries to sound like Snake throughout the game.
Mm.
He's got that like cuz remember how I mentioned that he's kind of like a fanboy of Snake?
Yeah.
He always kind of like tries to put that little gruff edge into his voice.
And it doesn't work.
Fun fact about Raiden's voice actor. So I know you've seen a little bit of Naruto.
Yeah.
Um,
I've seen all of Naruto and I haven't seen
do
Shippuden,
you remember
which is which is a tragedy, I know.
do you remember Aruka Sensei? Like the guy who's nice to Naruto?
Yeah.
Like the one teacher who's like his
Yes.
friend?
Yes.
The guy who voices Raiden, Quentin Flynn, is the same guy who voices Aruka.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can you remember Aruka's voice?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what Raiden sounds like.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But imagine like him, like a fake little bit of gruff in there.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to be
He's
gruff,
trying.
but it's just not how his voice sounds.
Yeah.
Like when the game starts, remember how they like try to bait and like they try to fake us out and say like, "Oh yeah, no, it is Snake." When I was like, "Yeah, no, Snake died. It's not Snake."
Yep.
Um, he's like, when Colonel's like, "Hey, Snake, do you remember that tanker incident?" Raiden's like, "Yeah, I remember that tanker incident." And it's like, "You're not Snake. Who are you?
I love
Shut the
how
fuck up."
you have the way you did the voice though. It was like perfectly trying to imitate Snake.
Yeah.
I could hear it.
Dude, it's when you learn Snake's like intonation, like his inflections, like where he goes up and down in certain sentences, that's how you do the Snake voice.
Yeah. Yep.
It's because like you can like get the tone of his voice, but if you don't have like the way he says things, he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
say Metal Gear. He says Metal Gear.
Yes.
You gotta like go up and
It's that
down.
like speaking out of the corner of your mouth
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it's like Colonel.
Yep.
It's not Colonel. It's Colonel. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah, this is some what is it called? Um
I'm not a voice actor. I cannot
yeah,
do
voice
very,
acting.
very well voice acting. I just for some reason feel like I can do a good Snake, okay?
It's because you grew up
It's because I grew
constantly
up and
hearing
I
it.
just wanted to be Snake's baby.
You're like, it's because I grew up
I just wanted him to hold me in his arms. Moving on.
with his solid
Moving
snake
on. Moving on.
brushing up against you.
Okay. So, Raiden strapped up, naked. Um,
Yep.
Solidus, he then like starts talking to Raiden and he's like, "Hey, so you don't you probably don't remember this. They probably wiped your memory, but in the 80s, I raised a small child and he was the leader of like a platoon of child soldiers. And he had such an outstanding kill record that it earned him the name of Jack the Ripper."
And this
Um,
is solid as saying
yeah,
this.
Solidus is telling this to Raiden.
Okay.
He's like, when I was out deployed, I found like a group of child soldiers, and they had a platoon leader who was so good at killing people.
As a child.
Yes, they named him Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
This is back in the 80s.
Okay.
He also says, he's like, Raiden, that was you. Like, you're Jack the Ripper. And I'm sure you don't remember it. I'm sure they took it out from your mind, but like,
Wow.
we don't know who they are. But he's like, I'm sure you don't remember it, or I'm sure they've made you remember what they want you to remember. And as Solidus is telling Raiden this, he starts remembering all. Like all
Oh, it
of this.
comes
Like
back.
it's true. Like no, Raiden was a child soldier and he was Jack the Ripper
Holy shit.
in the 80s. Um
Honestly, I'll give it to him. He's got some dope ass names. Raiden and Jack the Ripper.
yeah.
That's
I
pretty
dude
that's pretty sick.
Raiden is shat upon so hard in this game that when you see what he becomes later on, you're like, that's the fucking dude.
That honestly, that's the best way.
And honestly, I think it's kind of like a fuck you to like everyone who hated on Raiden.
Yeah,
Because
but it's a good way to develop a character. You don't you start him off.
it's always the worst thing. Like I like anime. When you're watching an anime and your main character is like starts off as that like really crybaby whiny ass protagonist
Yeah.
and like you're waiting for them to get awesome. You're waiting for them to get their moment where like they have their big break and now they're a badass.
Yes.
The
Yes.
worst thing of all time is when that never happens.
Yeah, that
And they're
is.
just a crybaby bitch for the entire show.
And you realize that's just their character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is rough.
That's actually there's a anime slash manga that I would be open to doing an exposition seat on.
Okay.
It's called Rosario Vampire.
Oh, I
Niche,
yes,
niche, niche, secluded take. Not it's not super popular,
I was
but
gonna
I
say
love it.
I've never watched it, but I've seen the manga on your shelves, and you've mentioned it in passing a few times.
I love it's like it's probably my favorite manga. In the anime, the main character he
Yeah.
is that character. It's like the one that just cries like a bitch the entire show,
Yep.
and you're just waiting for him to get awesome,
Mm,
and then he never gets awesome.
yeah.
But in the manga, he's fucking badass. But anyways, we're gonna go back to Metal Gear because I'm starting the tangent.
Yeah, you can't. That's how it is though. Especially if we start talking about anime, we could go on forever.
I mean that's what I'm thinking is like so the exposition seat. I feel like I could do an episode on. I don't know if I would want to do it on anime, but maybe a manga.
Yeah.
Maybe a manga because like you're gonna be doing books eventually,
Yeah.
so I feel like I could do a manga for you.
I'm open to it.
Anyways, back to Metal Gear.
Raiden's naked, strapped to a table.
Ryan's naked, strapped to a table, dick out.
And he learns
Solidus is
that he was
looking at
Jack
him.
the Ripper.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Um, but then like Solidus is like, man, I should have known because when you disappeared from that relief center in Africa, I should have known that they were gonna try to recruit you. And then before anything else can happen, Ocelot's arm starts tweaking the fuck out again.
Liquid.
Liquid snake.
Liquid snake.
Liquid snake. Oh, Buff, my name's Liquid Snake.
No.
Sorry.
I'm
Um,
sorry. That's all you could say. You just had to say sorry.
yeah. But his arm starts tweaking out and he's able to get it under control so liquid doesn't come out. But
How does
um
he do that? Does he just grip it
yeah,
firmly?
he like grabs it and like there's one point where like he bites it
Oh,
and like
wow.
basically he like puts himself into pain. So he's like, get down. Think of the Claudia the Chance of Meatballs cop who like is like, get back in there, tier.
Dude, the legend
The
himself.
absolute legend. That's
Yes.
what Ocelot's doing to his
Okay,
arm.
okay.
I love the amount of pop culture references this episode. I feel like it's just been out the wazoo.
It honestly it fits perfectly though
I mean, that's
because
literally
of the subject matter.
that's the theme of like our show, but
Exactly.
Okay. So Ocelot mentions, like after he gets his arm back under control, he's like, okay, GW, they put the virus in it. It got really fucked up. Like it's damaged to all hell, but it's not completely unsalvageable.
GW?
Yeah.
What's that?
Which is like the information system in
Oh,
Arsenal
right, that's
gear.
gonna shut down the
No, the one that is basically going to censor the entire world so the Patriots can control the flow of
Yeah.
information.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. He basically is like, yeah, GW, it's still working, but it's really fucked up. And he like says that out loud. And then he also this is when we learn that they're actually on Arsenal gear right now.
Okay.
Like,
So yeah, they're not in the part that's gonna crumble.
yeah, no. So like it's assumed that when Raiden passed out, Snake and Olga must have left him there and then someone took Raiden and then brought him down to Arsenal because they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Solidus is like, "Hey, we're just gonna proceed as planned," and then him and Ocelot leave.
They leave
They leave Raiden strapped to the
strapped to the
table.
table.
Yeah.
Okay.
After they leave, Olga Gerlukovich shows up. She walks in and she tells Raiden that she was sent in to support him by the Patriots. She's only doing as they want because they are holding her child hostage.
Oh, wait. Okay.
You remember she was pregnant at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, I do remember.
Um, so it's assumed that like when the baby was born, that the Patriots took the child and they're now using the child as like blackmail against her.
Yeah. Just this is just making me wonder like what Snake's up to, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
But
Hopefully.
she basically tells Raiden that like her child's life is dependent on Raiden's success. If Raiden fails his mission, they're gonna kill her child.
What even is Raiden's mission anymore?
I mean, Raiden doesn't fucking know.
Damn, that's a lot of pressure.
I mean, yeah, it
Okay.
really is.
Okay.
She also tells Raiden that they're both pawns and that the Patriots are just trying to enact the S3 plan.
Why the fuck didn't why did she do all this before she knocked him out?
We'll learn why she knocked him out in a minute.
Okay, okay, okay. Go ahead, go ahead.
But yeah, this is all being done for the S3 plan.
Okay. And that's new, right?
That's a new thing. We've never
Yeah.
heard that before.
Yep.
Um, she then tells Raiden that Snake is waiting for him nearby and that he has Raiden's like gear.
His
His gear,
his
like, because
gear.
he's naked right now. So, like,
Yeah.
he has, like,
Yeah.
Raiden's, like, equipment and
Yep.
stuff. Raiden then gets a call from Rose on the codec, and Raiden is like, Rose asks him, like, were you actually a child of war? Like, were you a child soldier? And Raiden's like, yeah, I was. I have trouble remembering it, but, like, you know, I was. It's true. It's, like, kinda coming back to me, and that's kinda, like, there's points where, I don't know. It's a lot, and I don't really wanna talk
He's
about it
still
right
and
now.
he still probably has holes in his memory, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but oh yeah, I forgot. There's one thing I remember I wanted to mention. Uh, so as Raiden was like a child of war, right? He was a child soldier.
Yep.
One of the ways they kept him under control and they like made him angry, the game says this. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if you can actually do this.
Okay.
But the game says that like the adults would put gunpowder in his food.
Well, what
The adults would put gunpowder in his food
to
like
to
to make him more hostile and like volatile.
there's no
I
way.
don't know if that's real, dude. But I forgot about that, and
They
I'm just
probably
like,
made him more hostile because his food tasted like shit.
he's probably like, God damn it, I just want a burger.
Yeah, dude. I'd be fucking pissed. I
But
don't
yeah,
know if I would, start murdering people,
it
but
it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to mention it because it's so fucking like, is that real? Like what the fuck?
dude, I
Like
just imagine he's probably already eating like MREs. It's probably just absolute dog shit, and then it's covered in gunpowder. So honestly, probably a pretty effective method.
yeah. Okay, so Olga then unshackles Raiden.
Yep.
She like gets him off the table, and it's like Raiden's like, why did you knock me out and then
Valid question.
unshackle me? And why are you telling me all this? And why is like what is Snake doing? Like why did he stand by?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Olga reveals that Snake and Olga were just using Raiden to get into Arsenal gear because they didn't know how to get into Arsenal gear.
Oh, that's smart. So they did that so they could track him.
Yeah, but they couldn't let Raiden know that. Otherwise, the plan would. I mean, they probably could have, but they didn't tell him.
Yeah, because
So
there's no reason to,
they knocked him
honestly.
out so that Ocelot and Solidus would take him into Arsenal and they could follow him.
Got it.
So basically, they're not bad. They're not evil. They're
Yeah.
just. I mean,
Yeah, I
maybe
didn't.
they are. Maybe they're bad,
No, I
but
mean,
like
I didn't assume they
they're
were.
not throwing Raiden under the bus just to like throw him under the bus. They actually were just trying to get into Arsenal gear.
Because that would be a wild thing to like the sequel of your game. You just make Snake evil.
I mean, there's a bunch of snakes, and I'm not saying all of them are good.
Oh, I know that. I know that. But our boy Solid.
Our boy Solid, yeah. Well, Raiden he heads out to go find Snake because remember Snake has all of his gear,
Yeah.
and I want to mention at this point in gameplay you're still naked.
Okay.
So literally, like Raiden's cupping his balls, and like you have to run through Arsenal gear, and you're completely booty ass naked and have no equipment. So all
Nice.
of the soldiers and shit, you got to like sneak past them, and there's no way of fighting them
Oh,
because
that's fun.
you're fucking. It's like complete stealth.
Yeah.
And Raiden, it's so because you can see his little butt cheeks moving. because like
His
you're
little pixelated cheek.
it's third person, so like his little pixelated cheeks be moving when you're running, and like you can do
Nice.
cartwheels.
Why?
It's it's
What
it's
is that
it's
accomplish?
I don't know,
You're just
dude.
doing a cartwheel past the guards.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
But as Raiden is headed to Snake, he gets a call from Campbell on the codec, and Campbell is being weird,
Mm-hmm.
weird.
How so?
Um, like he's kind of like talking in like broken sentences and like because normally on the codec you can see both of the characters' faces,
Mm, yeah.
and Campbell's face is like kind of like glitchy,
Mm,
but like he's talking in broken sentences, and he's how he's been a dick the whole time. He's
yes.
not even really being a dick anymore. He's just being like weird.
Okay.
It's not even like he's being mean at this point. He's just being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Raiden's like sussed. Raiden's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, Campbell, are are you working for the Patriots? Like, am I working for the Patriots? Is this whole time has everything been controlled by the Patriots? And Campbell just keeps spouting nonsense. He's not even responding to Raiden. He's just
Mm-hmm.
like, he just keeps going on and on and on. And he's like, the simulation. Oh, you're playing your role. It's just a game, isn't it? It's all just a game. You're just playing your role. That's right, aren't you? And then he's like, we have
What?
Rosemary, and it cuts out.
Okay.
Right, and he's like,
This.
he's so sketched, but he doesn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Also, remember
This.
how I mentioned Campbell will call you a lot throughout this game? At this
Yes.
point, it's like borderline like unfun. Campbell is like literally the codec call will end, and then the next one will pick up. Like as soon as you'll walk 2 steps, and he'll call you again.
So it's very persistent.
Yes, like just
And is
in
this while you're
absolutely
literally while
incessant.
you're playing in the
Yes,
background?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but Raiden, he's like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go find Snake. So he keeps going on, and more calls from Campbell and Sue. And at this point, Campbell is like, he's starting to even break the fourth wall.
Ah,
He's like, Raiden, turn off the console.
he's doing that shit again?
Yes. He's like, Raiden, mission failed. Turn off the console.
Does it sound robotic?
Kinda.
It almost seems like it's a recorded message.
But then I should also mention that if you die during this section, normally when you die, like your game over screen, it'll say mission failed.
Yeah.
Now it's like all weird. Like your picture will be like pixelated because like when you die, like a picture of how you died pops up on screen, and then it'll say mission failed, and like it'll have like continue new game exit.
Okay.
It's being weird. So like your picture will be like all pixelated, and it won't say mission failed. It'll say fission mailed.
Ah,
And like your options are like moved up and down and all around. Like everything is just the whole game starts feeling like it's breaking.
almost like it's one of his simulations.
Like it
I don't
literally
know though.
it's crazy because the game feels like if you're just playing the game, like I can't accurately portray it to you because you're not playing the game, but if you're playing the game, it feels like your game's broken.
Yeah.
Like it's like your
I can
game feels like
imagine.
it's glitching out, and
Yeah.
it's really unnerving. It's
Okay.
eerie as fuck. You're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I should mention, Rosemary starts being weird too now.
Wait, so she's also talking to you,
Yeah,
even though
they're both calling you on the codec.
okay,
As Raiden's trying to find Snake, they're both calling you on the codec.
Campbell did say like we have Rosemary, right?
Yeah, he does.
Interesting. Okay, okay.
Um, but she's like, she chimes in and she goes, "You'll ruin your eyes playing so close to the TV, Raiden."
What?
Like it's I cannot stress how fucking eerie this section is.
Yeah.
It borderline feels like you're now playing a horror game.
And Raiden's still butt naked.
Yes, and he's running around. He's like his sanity is draining at a rapid rate. You can see this man's mental
No, this is
decline.
actually kind of a dope visual. I'm just imagining him running through like dimly lit halls while he's naked, and
Also, I should mention
his
that
Kodak is just
it's not like
bugging out.
it's not the regular Russian soldiers anymore. They're called the Arsenal Tengu. It's like
Oh,
super elite, like high tech, like mastodon soldiers. Like these guys are
damn,
insane.
damn.
Like they have swords and guns, and they can do like flips and shit, and like
Yeah.
it's like some shit out of I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a
Were they a bunch of like death strokes, basically?
kinda. They're like Deathstrokes.
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, they don't look like Deathstroke, but like their like skill levels are Deathstroke level.
Yeah.
Like they're insane. So Raiden has to dodge all these people while Campbell and Rose are bugging out in the Kodak, and the whole game starts crashing, and he's naked, and it's like it's so fucking
And he's
weird,
remembering
dude.
his childhood at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah, it's so much. And Raiden, you could this man's sanity bar is
Yeah.
literally you watch it decrease.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But he gets another call from Campbell, and Campbell says, President Baker should be somewhere south of the wall you just blasted through. Raiden's like, what are you talking about? I should mention, that's a line that Campbell says in the first game. Because when Snake is trying to find President Baker, you remember President Von
Yeah.
Tech?
Yeah.
When he's trying to find Baker, um, Campbell's like, he's probably south of the wall that you just blasted through because you have to break a hole in a wall.
Okay.
So he just says that
Yes, I
to
remember that.
he I mean, I didn't say that part to you, but like
Oh no,
it's
I'm
context
thinking of
clues.
the very first game when you get
Yes.
Gray
You have
Fox.
to do
Yeah,
the
my
same
fault,
thing,
my
break through
fault.
another wall and
Yeah.
find Baker, but that's what Campbell tells you in the first game. He
Okay.
just tells us to Raiden.
Dude, so it has to be recordings.
That's in the
So
past.
it literally sounds like the same too,
Uh
or similarly.
it doesn't sound the same, but it's definitely Campbell telling you the exact same wording.
Okay, okay.
Raiden, he just tries to keep continuing on like this whole time because it's not like you just walk into the next room and there's Snake. Like you got to go through multiple areas,
Yeah.
and this whole time you're getting calls from Campbell and
Yep.
Rose. Um, so he's like, okay, I'll just keep going. When he gets another call from Campbell, Campbell tells him to he's like, Raiden, go home. I'll take care of it. And Raiden is just speechless. He's like I cannot stress enough how this man's sanity bar is just gone.
At this point, like, can he just turn that shit off?
I mean, it's an implant in your ear.
Oh, it's literally he can't get rid of it.
The codec is an implant in their ear, so it's like
Uh,
it happens. You can't just like
that makes sense. Because
now as the
I would have
player,
smashed that shit.
as the player, you can choose to ignore these calls or you could skip through them. So like you already know what's about to happen and you don't want to go through all this again, you can just skip all of it or you could just not answer the calls.
Right.
But as Raiden, no, he is it's like in game, this man's hearing it.
I see.
Yeah.
And as a player, you probably want to hear as much as you can.
I mean, on your first playthrough, I would definitely
Yeah,
recommend it.
for
But
sure.
I mean, on subsequent playthroughs, it's not entirely necessary. But
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, Campbell, he's getting weirder and weirder as this goes on. Like at first, he was just kind of being like weird and kind of broken sentences, and then he starts saying shit from previous missions, and now this man is just complete nonsense. Nonsense. I'm gonna read you a line that Campbell says,
Okay.
and this is exactly the wording because I took it word for word.
Okay.
Campbell calls Ryder and he goes, I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in the in Flapjaw space with the tuning fork does a raw blink on Harikari rock.
What the
I need scissors. 61.
fuck? Damn. Yeah, that's nonsense.
Um
Well,
I told you he's literally spouting absolute
see,
nonsense now.
it sounds like nonsense, but knowing this game, that was probably like the code that they need to shut down Arsenal Gear or some dumb.
I like
I
where
don't
your
even know.
headspace is at. I like where you're thinking. Raiden's his radar system. So I don't think I've ever mentioned the Soliton radar, but like it's like in the top corner, you have a radar that basically shows where the enemies are in your map.
Okay, is it like the spinning?
No,
And it's
so it's like it's just kind of like a not static, but like it moves with you. So like you're in the center, and when you move, like the area moves with you, and like you can see guards, cones of visions and stuff.
okay.
But yeah, that his Soliton radar system now just starts displaying a random woman. Like it's no longer showing where the enemies are. It's just a picture of a girl,
That he doesn't
but
recognize.
it's like a weird picture. It almost feels like a snuff picture.
Oh,
You know what I mean by that?
so
Like it's like think think like uncanny. Like this girl was not expecting to be have a picture taken of her.
yes. Okay.
Like it's like a creepy picture of a woman
Yeah.
displaying over his soul tone radar.
Wow. Okay.
Um, Campbell calls again, and he says, "Infiltrate the enemy fortress, outer heaven." And then we get another codec call, but it's Rose, and she says, this time it's like she's not breaking up anymore. Like this is just like regular speak, and it's really weird because you go from both of them like having these fucking manic episode breakdowns
Mm-hmm.
to Rose talking like a normal person.
Okay.
It's literally like that too.
Yeah.
Um, But Roche says she's been a spy from the Patriots all along.
And he doesn't know who this woman is.
He does. It's Rose's girlfriend.
No, the picture.
Oh, the picture. No,
And we assume that's what Rose is talking about.
no.
W-
The
She
picture's
said
just
she, though.
no.
What did Rose just say?
Rose is a spy from the Patriots all along.
Rose admitted that about herself?
Yes. She
Oh.
tells Ryden she's like, I've been a spy from the Patriots all
Oh,
along.
okay.
There's a conversation earlier in the game where we learn how they met. Like basically, she was like a tour guide, and like Ryden randomly saw her, and they started talking about like Godzilla and King Kong,
Yeah.
and like they struck up their relationship. She was planted in that exact scenario
Mm,
by the
this poor
Patriots.
dude.
She literally studied Ryden
Wow.
before she like went to go find him to know all of his interests, to look the way that he found women attractive. Like she literally has molded herself into the perfect person that Ryden would be into.
Okay.
She's been a spy from the Patriots all along.
Huh.
She's actually not Ryden's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still his girlfriend, but Ryden is like, if he wasn't insane before, he is now. Like this man's, I know it keeps saying this man's sanity bar is decreasing, and I don't want to just keep saying it, but it really is. Like you can literally see this man like losing it as you're playing.
Yeah, because it's every aspect of his reality is crumbling while he's in the middle of an of a giant nuke,
Naked.
naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, she says that she's reported everything he's done to the Patriots for the last 2 years.
Wow.
Um,
Every shit he's taken.
she does she does say though, she's like, Ryden, throughout all this time though, I've actually fallen in love with you.
Okay.
Like I actually have fallen in love with you. I'm sorry for lying, but I have fallen in love with you. I'm so sorry, Ryden. And Ryden, he doesn't believe her. He's like, whatever, Rose. Like you can just see this man's complete just what's
Disappointment.
not even disappointment. Like what's the word, like where you're just defeated.
Yeah.
The man looks defeated, sounds defeated. And then, are you ready for this? He's like, whatever, Rose. And she says, Jack. And I'm not talking in like I'm talking as her. So
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do the voice.
Okay.
She's like, Jack, I'm I'm carrying.
So it
I'm I'm pregnant, Jack. Your baby.
whoa. So it sounds like the audio or like it's
She was
going
talking
out
she was
talking
talking normal this whole time, and then that sentence, your baby. And
yeah.
like it starts cutting down, and like she starts like cutting off, and like her voice
Mm-hmm.
starts getting deeper. It is so unsettling, bro. It is so unsettling. You're just like, because as the player, this has been like for like the last 10 minutes, you're just dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
You're in Ryden's position. You're like, what? Like your eyes are wide. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Her
I feel
codec,
like that's a lie too.
but when she says her codec screen flashes white and then it goes static.
Mm.
All right, so Raiden meets up with Snake, right?
Yeah.
And he gets all of his gear back. And at this point, Snake is back like in his stealth suit because like he was dressed up like Iroquois Pliskin for the whole game,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but he's back in his stealth suit, and it's a beautiful suit, and I needed to mention
He's
that.
back to that OG.
Absolute. Okay, but now that Raiden has all of his gear back, he's like starts talking to Snake. Snake kind of apologizes for using Raiden as bait, and he's like, "Hey, sorry," but also Arsenal Gear is headed to Manhattan. Like we're on a direct course for Manhattan,
Uh-huh.
and it's not a course to end up at Manhattan. It's a collision course for Manhattan.
Wait, so they're gonna use Arsenal gear to just ram into Manhattan?
Yeah, it's gonna ram Manhattan. And remember how big I said Arsenal Gear was? Do
Yeah.
you remember how big it is?
Isn't it as big as like a small town or a small
I would say like a small city.
yeah, small
Like
city?
this thing's fucking huge.
Okay.
Um, but uh, yeah. So it's on a
So yeah, so they don't want to like bomb it. They just want to Headbutt it.
Well, the goal was never to nuke Manhattan, so we don't really know why Arsenal Gear is on a collision course for Manhattan yet.
Okay, right.
But Snake mentions that, and then he gives Raiden Olga's sword. Because remember, Olga was the cyborg ninja.
Yeah.
So the sword that the cyborg ninja, Mr. X slash Olga,
Mm-hmm.
was using, Snake gives it to Raiden.
Yeah.
And it's cool because now Raiden can use a sword. Like,
Raiden,
you can use the sword in
I
game.
was gonna say, Raiden, that name, it just feels like he needs a sword.
He gets his katana.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's like they call it a, I'm pretty sure they call it a high frequency katana. It's like,
Like a lightsaber.
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And like has electricity that comes out of it. It's just badass, dude.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And
Nice.
it'll evolve. Like, we'll see Raiden's sword wielding skills evolve in later games.
Okay.
Um, but Raiden and Snake, they both head forward, and it is clear at this point that Raiden is mentally shattered.
Oh yeah. It's
Um,
been clear.
like, he can't tell what's real, what's not. He doesn't even know if Snake's real. He's just completely broken.
And as the player, you don't know either.
No.
Yeah.
And you're talking to Snake. Like, Raiden has a couple conversations with Snake, and like, this is why you can tell that Raiden. He's like, I don't know what's real anymore. He's like, Snake, I feel like I'm going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very clear, very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on their way, Otacon calls in. He calls Snake and tells him that he got all the hostages out and that Otacon is also safe. So all the hostages that were left on the big shell and Otacon have now evac'd out of the big shell.
On to Arsenal.
No, just out. So
In
then
the water?
no, like on a helicopter.
Oh, okay.
Like, they got out.
Okay.
So I'm just putting that there so you know Otacon didn't die.
Yeah.
Otacon's alive, he's safe, he got out.
Got it.
Um Raiden then tells Snake, he starts telling Snake about all the weird calls that the Colonel was giving him. And Otacon is like, you know what? I'll since I'm not busy anymore, I'll look into it. I'll see what's going on with that.
Yeah, do they mention their relationship with Campbell at this point? Like Snake and Otacon?
No.
So they don't say like, "Oh, Campbell, he's blah blah blah." They don't do any of that. Cuz Campbell was their man in the last game, right?
Yeah, but they haven't talked about Campbell at all this game.
Yeah.
Snake and Otacon, they've only been interacting with Raiden. They haven't
Yeah.
been interacting with Campbell whatsoever.
Yeah. No, I know. I just didn't know if like they had some info on that.
Well, that's what Otacon's about to
Got it.
tell Raiden. And he's like, okay, well, you're working for Campbell. He's acting weird. All right, I'll look into it.
Okay.
Um, but Otacon, he calls back like pretty quickly. And he's like, yo, Raiden, I didn't even need to look that hard. Those calls are not coming from anywhere where the colonel would be, unless the colonel's on Arsenal with you, because those calls are coming from Arsenal.
Of course.
Like,
Yep.
the origin point of all the codec calls you're getting are coming from inside of Arsenal.
Yeah. It's one of
The
them.
caller is in the house
Yeah.
type situations.
Fucking fucking ghost face.
Otacon then tells Raiden, he's like, I don't think the colonel is on Arsenal. I think you've been talking to the GW system. I think you've been talking to an AI this entire time.
Oh. So, okay.
That's a big reveal.
The GW system?
Yeah. Remember
Right.
the GW
I know
system?
what it is. I'm saying like how is he so it's also got its own like AI.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
We can assume.
And let me ask you this. The GW system is that does that have to do with the nuke that they wanted to fire into the air?
Well, Dead Cell wanted to fire the nuke, and it would essentially render the GW system useless.
Yes. Okay. So the purpose of the nuke was to get rid of the GW system.
Yes,
Okay. I mean
but they
that
can't do that anymore.
yeah, the fact that it's an AI makes sense, especially with how it was speaking, because I was thinking it was a
Remember
recording.
when Emma put in the virus and it uploaded 90%, and Ocelot's like, it's not destroyed, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
And after that, the Colonel and
Oh, you're
Rose,
right.
they start getting real fucky with you.
Oh, I didn't think
They
about
start
that.
breaking down and like they're not acting
Hmm.
like normal people anymore.
What does this mean? So he's been talking to the GW?
That's what we think at this point.
Okay.
Um, Raiden, this information destroys him. He's like, Now that you say that, I don't think I've ever even met the Colonel in person.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you think about it from Ryan's perspective, he's working for Foxhound. His memories are already fucked up,
Yeah.
and it's assumed that Colonel Campbell is like a well-known established colonel in Foxhound.
Right.
So it's just assumed that like he was told, "Hey, this is your colonel for this mission," or something like that.
Yeah, I get it.
So from Ryan's perspective, it's like now that all of this is coming out,
Yeah.
he's like,
And
I
and
don't even know if I've ever met him.
and the fact that the other caller is his girlfriend, he probably just assumes trust.
Yeah.
Right.
But now he knows his girlfriend has been a lie.
Yeah.
The colonel is a lie. This
Yeah.
mission is a lie. His backstory is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing Raiden has known throughout his entire life is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
And he just, his disillusion with reality. Like, this man is dissociating at this point. Like,
Right.
he has no idea what's going on.
Right.
Like, think Snake in the first game times 1,000.
Yeah.
That's how confused Raiden is. Okay. Snake reassures Raiden, and he's like, hey, you know, I don't know what's all real in your world. All I know is that we are both real right now. This is happening. Let's keep
Damn.
going, man.
Gives him that brotherly talk.
Let's keep going. Hey,
Nice.
man, you're real, right?
We
Yeah.
all need
Let's keep going.
a solid Snake in our
Solid
lives.
Snake's the best, dude. We love Solid.
Dude's just the biggest. He's bringing up Otacon. He's bringing up Raiden. Who's
Yeah.
bringing up Snake? Who's solid Snake? Snake.
He doesn't have one. I mean, I would say Otacon and Snake are very like brotherly bonded at
That's
the
true.
like
They lift each other up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Snake, he mentions he like gives him this talk and like I didn't write all of it down, but I'm gonna try to give you like a gist. He's basically like, oh, Raiden, uh, whatever's real and whatever isn't, you need to decide the truth for yourself.
Oh.
He's like, you need to figure out what your own reality is.
Okay.
Basically, like the memories and things that have been passed on to you is not what defines you. Like you are you, and you decide for yourself. Like figure out all of what you want to be real.
That's facts.
He's like, your reality, your history is what you decide.
Yep.
Just,
You kind of define yourself.
yeah, dropping some bombs on
Yeah.
Raiden, just
Yep.
dropping some knowledge.
He
Snake,
needs that.
hey, you remember in the last game when you were like, yeah, Snake's dialogue reminds me of John Wick?
Yeah.
Yeah, does it still remind you of John Wick?
I mean, no, I guess.
Well, I mean, okay, so the funny thing about John Wick is that we meme on him because like his lines are all like corny action dialogue and he's always got like those short like yeah.
Right.
He's got like those like he's just your short action movie line dialogue character. And I love John Wick, but
I was gonna
it
say,
is definitely a criticism of the movies.
but at the same time, it's not a criticism until like the last, because in the first couple movies, it works perfectly for the theme of the movie
Yeah.
because it's not focused on the dialogue. It focuses on the the mystery of John Wick and his past, and
But in like
he's not there to talk.
but like in John Wick 3 and 4, it's
It's
like
well, yeah,
you know who John Wick is at this point and it's like there's not really a super big mystery anymore. So it's like
yeah,
the whole story has changed. It's no longer about John Wick's like, you know,
yeah. It his dialogue just starts to take away.
yeah. I'm thinking of the one scene where he's like he walks in and John Wick's like punching a punching bag. I think this is in the fourth movie, and he's like, "Hey John, are you back?" And he goes, "Yeah,
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm thinking
I'm
I'm
thinking
back."
of back.
It's I love it. I love John Wick, but so when you like were like, yeah, Snake's dialogue reminds me of John Wick. I just wanted to I wanted to like punch you in
You
the
wanted to
dick.
punch me?
Yeah, in the dick. I wanted to like throw a cement brick at your head.
I mean, to be honest though, it kind of did.
I mean, yeah, because the way I was saying it, but like now that we're getting further and further, Snake has got a lot of introspection.
And
Snake is a
also,
lot more of a like this dude doesn't shut the fuck up.
yeah, well, I was gonna
Actually,
say in like older games, in these older games, like you can't really have a ton of dialogue. So I'm not. It wasn't even like taking away from it.
that is something that I can. This will come back later, and it's not to this game at all. But Snake talks a lot,
Mm,
so it'd be really weird if Snake didn't talk a lot.
Oh, it would be weird to the player if he
Yeah.
realized that.
Yeah, if
I
you realized how
see.
little Snake is actually talking in this game.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get back to that
Okay.
eventually.
Okay.
I love dropping these little hints for games that are going to be a while, and you're not going to remember this part of the conversation.
See, now that you said I won't remember it, I'll make sure.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll make
Sounds
sure
good.
to have a
Sounds
callback.
good. Yeah, they have their little conversation, their little pep talk, and then they are ambushed by Fortune. You remember
Yep, I
Fortune?
remember Fortune. Queen Fortune.
Boy,
Queen.
yes, good. Um, so she's going on about her typical spiel. Oh, I want to kill you, Snake. Oh, like I want to die, but at the same time I can't die. She also accuses Snake of killing her father.
Of course.
Do you know who
See,
her father is?
God damn it. See, I've noticed this about Snake. Most of the people
Hate Snake,
who hate Snake, he killed somebody that they loved.
and he didn't actually do it.
Yeah, or it was just
An
an
accident,
accident.
or it was just part of his mission.
It's happened
Every game.
every game, many times.
Yeah,
Who was her father?
Scott Dolph, the
Who
U.S. Marine guy from the tanker incident. Remember the guy
Oh,
goes, "Lolololol?"
yep. Who Ocelot killed?
Yes, who
Yeah.
Ocelot killed.
Yeah.
Snake
Yeah,
didn't
I
kill him,
remember.
but she thinks that that was her dad.
Because the tanker incident was framed on Snake, so
Yes,
that makes sense.
yes, yes, yes. Um, but Snake, he looks at Ryden, he goes, "Looks like I'm today's pick," and he's like, "Ryden, head on." And Ryden's like, "I can't leave you here." He's like, "Ryden, just get out of here. I got this."
Does Ryan know what his mission is
No,
yet? Still? Okay.
no.
Okay.
I mean, essentially, at this point, they're trying to just kind of get to the center of Arsenal so they can kind of figure out what's going
They're
on
basically
because
going to just go with their gut.
they're trying to, because they all they know is that Arsenal is on a collision course for Manhattan.
Yeah, so they're gonna try to do
They're
the best that they
to
can
stop
to stop.
Arsenal destroying Manhattan, but they don't know the grand scheme of things right now. Like,
Their mission is just to be morally good.
yes, their mission right now is just stop as many deaths as possible.
Yeah, got it.
So Raiden, he's like, okay, and he leaves Snake, and Snake is left with Fortune,
Okay.
and Raiden continues on.
And you don't get to see what happens
No,
next. Yeah.
but Raiden continues on, and he reaches the core of Arsenal Gear, where he hears Solidus's voice. It's like this. It's actually pretty like ethereal, actually. Raiden climbs up a ladder, and then it cuts, and he's just kind of in this big ass room, and there's just a fucking vacuum around him. It's just like black space around him, and he's standing on this platform.
Oh.
Um, and Solidus's voice is just kind of coming out of the ether.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can't see Solidus, he doesn't know where he's at. He's just hearing his voice. It's everything since we got into Arsenal Gear is very ethereal.
I see.
It's very like glitchy and like, hold on, that doesn't make sense. How did he climb that ladder and then just end up on this platform? There's not even an area where you see the ladder leads to.
Mm.
Like when he's standing on the platform, you don't see the ladder. You don't see the hole where the ladder would have been.
It's giving me the vibe that parts of his of what he's seeing is like in his head, like the simulation missions that he was on.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we learned is that he's been on over 300 VR missions.
And he has never been on a real one.
Yes.
So what's going on?
But yeah, so it's like everything is weird spatially.
Got it.
But he's now standing in the center of Arsenal Gear and he hears Solidus's voice. And Solidus explains what the S3 plan is. Remember how I mentioned the S3 plan?
Yes.
Um,
Olga said that, right?
Olga said that all of everything that has happened in the Big Shell has been to further the S3 plan.
Yep.
Solidus says that the S3 plan stands for Solid Snake Simulation.
What?
And he tells Raiden that Raiden has been a puppet for the Patriots all along in order to artificially produce a new Solid Snake, the perfect warrior.
So I'm guessing the whole shit with Rose was the beginning of that.
Probably.
Okay.
Um, Solidus then tells Raiden that he has served his purpose and needs to die. He doesn't say anything else. He's like, that's what the S3 plan is. You've served your purpose, you need to die. And then here comes 3 Metal Gear raids.
What?
Yeah. 3 Metal Gear raids.
From where? The
The
Black
the ether.
Void?
Like, yeah, they kind of show up.
Damn, they brought in They brought in
Well,
3 of them to kill him.
you remember there's like a fleet of mass-produced Rays inside Arsenal gear.
I remember.
Um, but Raiden now has to fight off all three Rays.
Like, how is he even gonna fight off one?
Boss battle ensues.
Oh my god. How does this go down?
Uh, it's actually it's very video gamey where like two of them will stand back and kind of just like fire from the distance while you fight one up close,
Mm,
and then like it'll jump back and the other one will jump forward.
I see.
I mean, you can picture it in your head looking a lot cooler.
Yeah.
But it was 2002 when 2001 when this game released.
Yeah.
So still an old game. Picture the scene looking cooler. It's a cool boss fight. It is cool that you're fighting three Metal Gears at once
Mm-hmm.
inside of a Metal Gear.
Yeah.
But the actual boss fight itself feels very video gamey.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
I
mean
get
by that?
exactly what you mean. Yeah, because it's, I mean, realistically, if 3 giant
The,
mega tank nuke things.
well, the game it just couldn't process actually doing something that high. Like it wouldn't have flowed smoothly to have three rays walking around all at once.
Yeah.
Like now, today we could do that, but like back then, this is still PlayStation 2.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Um,
Do you
but
get to use the sword now?
the sword isn't really effective against them.
I see.
You use like rocket launchers and shit.
Okay.
I mean, you still have the sword,
Yeah.
but
It's an option.
yeah, Raiden he battles them off, like he beats them off.
Hey,
What?
yo.
What? You you don't want to see Raiden beat off a couple rays?
Um, honestly, no, I don't. Now that I'm thinking about that, I want to stop.
I think our agendas have switched.
Oh, so you do want to do
I
that.
do. I want to watch Raiden beat them off.
You know what? I'll let you do that.
Okay. Everyone, we're gonna take a break real quick. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Nah, I'm joking. I'll do that later. So Raiden he battles them off, but he doesn't destroy any of them. Like it's pretty hopeless. This
Right.
this fight. Like it's
Yeah, I can't imagine him being able to
Solid
do that
Snake is like
anyways.
the ultimate dude right now, and he could barely fight off one Rex.
Mm-hmm.
So Raiden, this like little first mission boy, is fighting three Rays, which are the ultimate Metal Gear.
Yeah.
He doesn't destroy them, but he is like able to battle them off and like keep them at bay. When Olga shows up, she tries to help us out, and like she's like helping Raiden fight, and
Did she just show up from the dark void too?
yeah,
Whoa, what is happening?
yeah, dude, what is
Okay,
happening?
okay,
That is how it feels when you play the game. It is very what is happening.
okay.
Like all this shit is just happening all at once, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Um, but she like while they're fighting, it's like that classic like trope of like characters fighting and talking at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
She mentions that if Raiden dies, so does their child. Like her child's life is tied to Raiden.
Yeah,
It's not even
she
just
just keeps stressing him out basically.
yeah, it's not even just the mission. Like it's straight up if Raiden dies, her child will die. Doesn't matter what she does.
Okay.
Um, so she's like, I want you to live at all costs, even if I have to like sacrifice myself for you. So I'm gonna help you as much as I can. And if it comes down to it, you need to survive over me.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, so just then, after she tells that to Raiden, guess who jumps out of the infinite void?
Gotta be Snake.
No,
No?
it is a snake.
Oh, really? Solidus.
It's Solidus, yeah. Solidus, he shows up and he kills Olga brutally, I might add.
How?
Like he like picks her up with one of his tentacle arms.
Bro has tentacle arms?
Yeah. Um,
Oh yeah, I
so
remember.
like part
Because
of
I
his
was like, he looks like
exosuit,
Dr. Octopus or
yeah.
whatever.
So like part of his exosuit, he's got like tentacles coming out of the back of him, and he's just it's not his like actual body, it's just the exosuit.
Yeah. Yep. Or okay, I remember. Yes.
But basically he like uses one of his tentacle arms and he picks her up by the throat, and she's like choking, and he's like monologuing while he's doing it, and then he like pulls out like a gun out of his side pocket while he's doing that, and like she's like choking and her face starts going blue, and then like he shoots her right in the head,
Damn.
and it doesn't hold back. It's like it's dark.
That's sad, man.
It's dark.
She had to come in and be like, because that's how it is. I feel like in these games, if you hear somebody double down on their backstory or on some shit like that, they're gonna die,
Yeah.
or it's while they're dying.
I mean, Otacon has doubled down on his backstory.
You're right, and he's still going.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's still kicking.
Yeah.
Or he's, you know, or there's like some shapeshifter who's been pretending to be Otacon this whole time. That would happen.
I mean, these games are based in reality.
They are.
I'll say it every episode till the day I die.
Yeah.
Um, but when he kills Olga, the Metal Gear rays start to malfunction, like all the ones standing around, and they start tweaking out, like hard. Like their eyes go red because they were blue, and now they're going red, and they're like freaking out. The virus, it's revealed that the virus that they planted into GW not only made like the AI of like the kernel start tweaking out, it also made everything GW was controlling tweak out. So we
Okay.
learned that GW was also controlling the rays, and it is also controlling
Arsenal.
Arsenal gear, which
Mm.
is why the collision course for Manhattan is happening. No one
Oh.
wants it to crash into Manhattan.
Oh.
It's because the virus is making GW tweak out.
Yeah. So it's just going.
Yeah,
It's just moving.
yeah, and there's no way to slow it down either. Like there's actually no way to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't turn it off. So that really sucks
Yeah.
for Manhattan. Remember when this game came out?
Manhattan could take anything.
Remember when this game
I
came
do
out?
remember.
Okay.
I do
Um,
remember.
but the Rays turn on Solidus. Like their eyes go red and they start attacking Solidus.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I will say Solidus absolutely claps the fuck out of these Rays. Bro single-handedly destroys two of them. And it's like in a minute.
Wow.
He's like jumping from ray to ray and he has a sword and he's like planting it in their heads and like cutting off. He cuts off one of the Rays' heads, I'm pretty sure.
That's insane. Because the head's what, the size of a house?
Yeah, and he's like dodging through their bullets and he's like running up their arms. It's such a cool sequence.
Yeah, that's
Solidus
sick.
just destroys these fucking Rays. And
And
it's
Raiden's
just
just standing there in
yeah,
disbelief.
it's just such a juxtaposition because Raiden was just struggling with his entire being to even fight them
And
off.
Olga just died.
And Solidus just absolutely whops, just molly whops two of
What
them.
the fuck? You said wops?
Whop, whop.
Solidus wops the rays.
He whops.
Yeah. Honestly though,
Solidus does whop.
oh Jesus. Solidus.
Solidus.
Yeah, he sounds like he's becoming a homie.
I mean, in the last game, we were theorizing that maybe he's not even like truly a bad guy.
Yeah, well, see, he did just kill Olga, but so actually take everything back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No,
just killed a mother.
me and my homies hate Solidus.
Yeah. He's the number one hater.
Yeah.
He's 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 only becoming a homie for like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
but then he's
It
gonna
was
try to.
he's a homie in this one scene where he's fighting off the Rays.
Yeah, we can all sit here and be like, "Wow, look at that."
But I mean, in the hating Solidus defense train,
Yeah,
um, they were gonna attack him. So like he only fought them off
he's
once
only
they were
defending
gonna attack.
himself.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is he really a homie?
No,
Even in that scene?
no, kill him.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
All right. Well,
I
he
hope he
destroys the
dies.
two Rays. Not the third one, but it shuts down. It just like turns off.
Okay.
Assumedly, the virus is just still being wacky and it turns off.
Yeah.
Kind of an ex machina type situation, but whatever. We'll deal with it. Um, but since they're no longer a threat, he turns to Raiden and then starts choking him out with one of his tentacles.
Okay.
He picks him up with the tentacle and starts choking him out.
Raiden needs to learn to just get the fuck out of places.
Yeah, Raiden, dude.
Solidus gave him a literally.
Can you imagine being Raiden on this mission?
I feel like yeah. Honest, no, I can't.
It's rough.
It's
It's rough
rough.
out here for this man.
But like, did he really need to stand there and watch Solidus clap some
I
cheeks?
will say, I did mention Solace does it fairly quickly.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like it takes him 20 minutes to do this. It's like a minute.
Yeah, but
Not even. Not even a
that's
minute. Like this man is
every second counts.
I guess, yeah. I guess, yeah. Okay. Well, since Solidus is choking out Raiden, Fortune shows up with Snake in handcuffs.
Okay.
So Solidus is choking out Raiden, and now Fortune is standing there with Snake in handcuffs. This is bad, right? It's gonna start getting real fucky right now. So I'm gonna need you to lock into me.
I'm locked in.
Ocelot then shows up.
And they're all just coming through the void.
The void is kind of fading away, and now it's like they're on the top of Arsenal.
Like
Like
outside?
throughout the battle with the Rays, it's like the platform they were on lifts up to the top of Arsenal.
Okay.
So they're not in the void anymore. They're now on the top of Arsenal. I guess I should have said that.
Okay.
They're on the top of Arsenal gear, which is so like the surrounding area is like night sky in the
Yeah.
ocean.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but yeah, Fortune shows up, Snake's in handcuffs, Raiden's being choked out. Ocelot also shows up
Mm-hmm.
on the top of Arsenal.
Okay.
Okay,
So I guess to go back on what I said, maybe he didn't have anywhere to escape to.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give Raiden some credit.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right.
Okay, Solidus reveals he actually could care less about stealing Arsenal gear. He's actually not after taking Arsenal gear or blowing up a nuke or anything. Solidus's motivations this whole game have been nothing but a sham.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
He was actually after a list, just a list of the names of the Patriots.
Who?
He
Okay.
he thinks that the information on who the Patriots actually are is inside of GW. And that's what he was really after. That's what he was like after all along.
Yeah. Okay.
Ocelot then starts villain laughing. You know what I mean by villain laughing?
Yes. I can
It's
imagine.
it's not like a chuckle. This man's like
Yeah.
bucket it.
No. No. Yeah. No. I get it.
Okay. He reveals that the entire Big Shell incident has been scripted and orchestrated, and it has all been a recreation of the Shadow Moses incident. And Solidus has done nothing other than play his part.
Uh,
Yeah. You catching that? You catching the drift?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any
Yep.
any thoughts?
No.
Okay.
My brain. My brain.
We're only an hour into this episode. Like we took like a
No.
break
No.
for the
No.
last part.
I'm not confused. I'm just. I just am. My brain has become accepting of anything that you throw at me.
Oh, okay. That's actually a great place to be at. That's a,
Yeah,
that's a good
so
place to be
Ocelot
at.
says, "Yeah, I'm actually I'm actually 1,000 years old. I was the creator of the universe." I would sit here and say, "That makes sense."
He's not the character 1,000 years old, but
Don't. Ocelot says, "I'm actually a polar bear who came from
what if he did, bro? What if Ocelot was just like, I'm actually a polar bear,
no,
and then just
Ocelot's actually an ocelot.
he's just like he like
I'm here to
you ever
destroy
read those old
humanity."
books, Animorphs or whatever they're called?
Um,
They're like Goosebumps esque books from like when we were kids.
I don't think I ever got into that.
Well, they're like Animorphs, and on the cover of all of them, there's like a picture of like a child, and it's like the stages of that child morphing into an animal.
That sounds eerie.
It's also like really bad 90s CGI graphics.
Ah,
And
okay.
I am just picturing Ocelot turning into an
Yeah.
Ocelot, and it's horrendous. My mind is I'm actually offended.
See, okay. To get back to this, so he wants to create he wants to recreate the Shadow Moses incident. And the Shadow Moses incident was when Liquid Snake got his arm cut off by Cyber blah blah, and at
Yeah,
the
the
end,
Shadow Moses incident was the entirety of Metal Gear Solid 1.
yeah, but like he wants to recreate. What does that even mean? Like he wants to recreate that incident.
I mean, I can keep going if you want.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, that probably would answer it.
the Patriots set all of it up. Ocelot is working for the Patriots. That is why Raiden has been through so many situations exactly like Shadow Moses.
Okay.
I kept mentioning that. There's a cyborg ninja here. There's a group of terrorists that you have to infiltrate on a stealth mission to rescue hostages.
Yeah.
Those hostages just so happen to die. Ames even died of a heart attack.
True.
There's the bloody hallway that Raiden walks through.
Mm-hmm.
There's the torture sequence.
Yeah.
Literally all of it. That's why I kept mentioning the fact that they parallel the first game.
Yeah.
It's because they were in like directly recreations of events that the first game happened.
Okay.
Um,
Which,
I
yeah,
should I
I've
should
caught
also
that.
mention that the heart attack that Ames suffers, it's actually cool because since he didn't actually die of a heart attack, you're like, okay, well then why did he randomly have a heart attack? The Patriots turned off the nanomachines in his pacemaker, causing his heart to stop.
Oh, he had a
He
pacemaker.
had a pacemaker,
Oh, damn.
and the pacemaker got turned off using
Wow.
nanomachines,
Yeah, that
causing
that would do it.
that's I think that bit's cool.
Yeah.
Um, but Fortune, she's like, she hears this and she is understandably pissed the fuck off because her and Vamp and Solidus's like she's under the impression that they've all been doing something.
For
And
Dead
apparent
Cell.
yeah, and apparently Solidus has not been on the same page as them the whole time. And now we learn that Ocelot has been on a different page from both of them.
Yes.
All of these characters think they're all doing the same thing when they're not, and Ocelot's the only one who knows what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So she's pissed off.
Because he just admitted he's working for the Patriots, or
Yes.
at least that's what he's saying, and that's who they're going against.
Yeah. So she goes to shoot Ocelot, and Ocelot shoots her in the chest.
Okay.
Remember, Fortune can't be shot.
Yeah, I
All of the
remember.
bullets go around her.
I remember.
It doesn't.
So she's happy. She finally dies.
Well, the interesting like how did Ocelot just like kill her? Like
No,
he
that
literally fired one bullet and it went straight through her
that
chest.
is quite quizzical.
Um yeah, this part it didn't age well. So
Oh.
Ocelot's like, yeah, that's just proof that it was all a ruse by the Patriots because there are no superpowers. There's only high tech. And basically, he like holds up a little device, and this device basically like it's like a force field that makes bullets fly around it. And she looks down, and there's one planted on like her belt.
And she didn't know it was there?
Well, I'm assuming it's not like a box that like is super obvious. Like it's like a small little device that was
Okay.
planted on her belt. And it's like the side of her belt, so she doesn't it's not like she would have just seen it, you know.
Well, how
Basically,
long has she had this?
um
Is it just for this mission?
yeah, so it's not that Fortune has had this ability since birth. It's just a new ability that she got after her dad died.
Oh.
And basically everyone's like, "Oh,
So that was
well,
2 years ago.
yeah.
So she's worn this belt for 2 years.
Uh don't think about it that much."
Is that why it didn't
Don't think
age
of
well?
it didn't age well because
Are they about to say the vampire has high tech?
no.
Oh, he's really a vampire.
Yeah,
Okay.
until game 4.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
it's high tech in game 4.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
basically Ocelot's like yeah, there's no such thing as superpowers, there's only high tech. Um I'm just going to tell you Ocelot's wrong. That's why it didn't age well. But Ocelot does say that.
Okay.
Basically, like when they made this game, that's what they thought,
Yeah.
and it got retconned
He
later.
could have been. We could always say he was lying.
Well, I mean, he has no reason to lie right now.
Hmm.
I mean, he just killed her, pretty much.
That's true. He's doing the
But
I'm winning monologue.
yeah, so she gets shot, and she's like, okay, she's kind of standing there, blood coming out of her, and then Ocelot he hops into the last ray. Remember, because not all of them got destroyed. He hops into the ray that wasn't destroyed,
Yeah.
and he shoots a bunch of missiles at like the group: Solidus, Raiden, Snake, and Fortune.
So he's now manually running Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, Fortune stands in front of them, and all of the missiles deflect around her.
Okay. So now it works again.
Yeah,
So Ocelot.
was wrong.
Wait.
because Snake goes, "Oh, looks like Lady Luck really is on her side."
Okay, shut up, Snake. My man.
I
Wait,
I
who
I
was who
I
was
hate this part because it actually doesn't make sense.
who
Like
got in
you're
the Ray?
Ocelot.
Ocelot. So Ocelot was trying to kill. Yeah, what? Ocelot, who is the one who was doing her power. Obviously, he wouldn't activate it if he was actively trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Snake goes, "Looks like Lady Luck's on her side."
Yeah, yeah, that is rough.
Yeah. And then I mean, Ocelot's not entirely wrong because a lot of the shit in this game in this series gets explained away using high tech. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna string you along with that. I mean, there's some that I refuse to believe, but like
I mean,
some
to
of
be
it,
honest, I don't hate that when it's like this type of story because it's a video
yeah,
game
it's
and
just the way they do it.
yeah,
It's just the way they
like
do
that
it.
right there,
You'll
that's a little weird.
you'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
You'll
Let
see
me
what I mean when we get to MGS4. You'll see what I mean.
so the missiles deflect around her.
Yeah, basically saving everyone else, and then she dies from her gunshot wound.
Yeah. Did she ever like address the fact that she's been wanting to die?
Yeah, as she's dying, she's like, "I finally found peace," type shit. I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't write it down, but kind of like, "Oh, I can finally be happy," as she dies.
Is Vamp there?
No, Vamp is
Okay.
not there.
Okay.
He's not dead because he's a vampire.
Yeah. Right.
Remember,
I just know he'd be pissed that his queen died.
yeah, he'd also be pissed because Ocelot said that superpowers don't exist.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Like, no, they do.
we've very clearly seen a vampire and a psychomantis. Like
Yeah.
they're both very clearly supernatural beings.
And an octopus thing who can turn into other people.
No, he like grafts their face onto his.
Okay. No, he grabs their face. That's a power. Come on now.
Okay. If you want to think that,
I mean, I guess we could say it's science
yeah.
because you're like
I
taking
mean,
somebody else's body.
even
It's like surgery.
the first game kind of like explains the decoy octopus doesn't actually turn into other people. He
Right.
like uses their blood
It's kind of like
and
it's like a super high tech disguise.
yes,
I get it.
essentially.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna point this out: Vamp and Psycho Mantis at this point in the series are both clearly supernatural.
Right.
And remember how I said there's a couple things that I don't like that Kojima does?
Yeah.
Those two characters are involved.
Okay.
Okay, we'll keep moving on though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an MGS4 topic.
Got it.
Um, but
What is Solidus doing?
Solidus, he's like standing around in disbelief, like kind of watching everything happen. I mean, this isn't it, we've been talking for a little bit, but not much time has actually passed in game.
Okay.
Like he's kind of reacting because like he just got or missiles fired at him, so he's like gets out of the way
He
and like
probably doesn't know who to protect, who to fight.
yeah,
He's like trying to figure out what side.
yeah, he's kind of just like surveying the situation and like trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, well, after Fortune dies, after saving the rest of the group, um, Ocelot's arm starts tweaking again,
Nice.
and we hear brothers as Liquid takes control of Ocelot fully.
Okay.
Snake yells back, "Liquid!
That's like a friendly thing.
Liquid!"
Quit, my boy.
Not a friendly thing.
No, I
He's
know.
just like, "Oh, Liquid!
Sounds like he's like gonna dab him up.
Yo, Liquid!"
I killed you, but like, yo.
Okay, if you were like on track, are you ready to be mad?
Oh, why?
Liquid says that he was the one who leaked the information to Otacon at the beginning of the game. You
Okay.
remember that Otacon got a message addressed from EE? You remember
Emma Emmerich?
way back at the tanker incident?
I don't remember, but
Basically, the whole reason Snake showed up to the tanker incident was because they got an anonymous tip from EE.
okay.
Liquid Snake was the one who sent that tip,
Okay.
not Emma.
Yeah.
Um, Liquid,
I love the idea that like we just got a villain monologue and then his arm tweaks and we're getting a second villain monologue from
that
his
I
other
mean,
consciousness.
that is literally what's happening.
Yeah.
Um, Liquid then says that he's using Ocelot's body as host, and he's not when Ocelot's in control, it doesn't mean Liquid's gone. He can still survey, like he still knows what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. So he says that he knows who all the Patriots are because he was inside of Ocelot
And
the whole
Ocelot
time.
knows.
Yeah, so that means
Oh,
Ocelot
right,
would
because
also.
he's working for the Patriots.
Yes.
Right, right, right.
He then says that he's going to put an end to all of the Patriots. Um, and then he jumps into the ocean
Okay.
in Ray, in Ray. So
Oh,
like
that makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Ray's cockpit closes,
Yeah.
and then he jumps into the ocean.
Okay.
So how do you like that? Liquid, how do you like Liquid Snake in this game?
I mean, it's a little out there.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying the fact that he's shown up a couple times throughout the whole thing, and each time it's been like very brief. And at the very end of the game, he's like, "Yeah, I've secretly been a part of this whole thing all along too,"
I know.
and
And
then runs away.
yeah, he
Dear
runs away.
brother.
He runs away as Ocelot, and Ocelot's like, "What is happening?"
Yeah,
I wonder if Ocelot can survey while Liquid's in control.
I don't know actually.
I feel like that would make sense.
I do know actually,
You do know,
but I'm
actually.
not gonna tell you because I don't
Okay.
know actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I believe
Do
you.
you want to hear what Snake does? Do you want to
Um,
hear what Snake
of
does?
course.
Uh, Snake breaks his handcuffs.
Oh, I forgot he was in handcuffs. Yeah.
Yeah, he just breaks them straight off. Like these aren't like zip ties either. They're like full on handcuffs.
Right, they're handcuffs.
Yeah, and Snake is just such a badass. He literally breaks these handcuffs off his body. Like he just like pulls his arms apart and they break.
Yeah. Damn.
And then Snake, like the absolute badass dumb motherfucker that he is, dives into the ocean
After Ray?
after Ray.
Oh my God.
He doesn't even say anything. Like Ray jumps into the ocean and starts
That's
swimming
actually
away.
sick.
And Snake breaks his handcuffs and then starts full sprinting to the edge of Arsenal Gear
It just
and
dives.
dolphin dives into the ocean after Ray. And then you could like see Snake like swimming after Ray as you can see them both swimming away into the
And I just
ocean.
imagine Ray's going at full speed. You just see Snake just treading water.
He's swimming as fast as he can, but Ray's faster.
Yeah, I would hope so. But then again, Solid Snake.
It's just this man literally jumped off of Arsenal Gear into the ocean to chase a ginormous mech
Oh yeah,
with no words either.
that's a peak visual.
Yeah, I mean Snake is just absolute badassery. He's badassery incarnate.
Yeah. I mean, no
Um,
wonder they want to copy him.
yeah. Well, no, they wanted to copy Big Boss. Oh yeah, I guess you're right because the S3
The
plan.
S3, yeah. Which is
Yeah,
interesting that they switched. They're like, oh, we want to copy Big Boss. And they're like, wait, Snake is a better version of Big Boss. I mean, right? Isn't that their thought?
I mean that is what the player would be thinking right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I see.
so it Arsenal Gear is about to I mean at this point Arsenal Gear is about to crash into Manhattan,
Yeah.
right?
So they're close.
Like it's literally like you see Manhattan coming up. Arsenal Gear presumably is traveling like hundreds of miles an hour.
Okay.
And you see Manhattan getting closer.
Yeah.
And now it's just Solidus and Raiden left on top of Arsenal because Liquid Ocelot and Ray and Snake just dove into the ocean and Fortune is dead. So it's just Raiden and Solidus on top of Arsenal Gear and you can see Manhattan getting closer.
Yeah.
Screen cuts to white. And then I need to tell you a little bit about Kojima's predictive nature, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There was originally a cutscene of Arsenal Gear crashing into New York. And it was like a 5 minute cutscene of like buildings collapsing, people getting crushed underneath it, everyone dying,
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal Gear completely destroying New York. This game was released
2001.
in 2001 after 9/11.
Yeah.
So
Like a month after, right?
yeah. So Kojima was like, yeah, seems a bit in poor taste now.
Yeah.
So he cut the scene. He cut it out of the game and it's never been reintroduced. I think me personally, I think they should have put it back in when they did like the master collection. If they still have access to it. I don't even know. Maybe it's lost media or something, but
So what do we just see the aftermath?
yeah, so the screen cuts to white and then it cuts back in and Raiden and Solidus are like falling
Damn.
off of Arsenal gear onto the
Okay.
ground. Um, it sucks, but I mean, also like the game didn't release too long after 9/11. So like it's not like they had time to make an entirely new sequence or
Yeah.
anything. Like this was the plan to the entire game's production. And to my knowledge, the scene was made and then it literally just had to be taken out.
And that is crazy how that was going to be, or how, I mean, still that does happen in the game, and
Yeah.
the time it's released, that's insane.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like there
mean,
was a lot of things like that.
this game with predicting 9/11 and all the mentions of AI and like controlling information and shadow governments.
I know.
I told you this
Makes you
game
think,
I
man.
told you this game was ahead of its time,
Makes you
brother.
think,
Because you
man.
were like, "Oh man, MGS1, that game it feels so ahead of its time," and I'm like, "MGS2 is worse."
It continues.
I genuinely, and we're not even at the part where it's like my brain is melted yet.
Yeah. Yeah, with your brain. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're gonna get a conversation soon.
yeah.
Okay, so Arsenal Gear is about to crash into it does crash into Manhattan, and then
Yeah.
Raiden and Solidus fall to the ground. Um,
That had to hurt.
it definitely does. I mean, yeah, it hurts. Okay, so
Yeah, it is.
now it's time for Raiden and Solidus to fight each other. Um, because remember, if Raiden dies, so does August Child,
Yeah.
and possibly Rose. Because remember, Campbell, even though Campbell's being all fucky,
Yeah.
he said that they have Rose. So is the Rose that he's been talking to an AI like the Campbell, or is Rose a real person?
See, here's the thing.
Because he's met a
Campbell
Rose.
didn't say shit. The AI said it.
The AI said it,
So,
but the GW system is being it's for like it works for the Patriots.
yeah.
So it's assumed that it's like right now it's the voice of the Patriots.
Yeah. Which now you can't trust anything that he's been told over the codec because we know it's the AI.
Yeah, I think it's cool because in the last game you multiple
Codec.
times mentioned about how anyone on Kodak you don't trust them.
Yes, and that's what I was
And
saying. This game, and now we know this game is essentially a parallel of the last one, and it literally is in almost every aspect.
yes,
Like you can't trust anything on the codec. The reveals are basically like similar, and like you were saying, you're getting you're walking like you're playing through scenes from the last game.
yep,
Yeah, yeah. So I don't even know. I don't know what to believe. All I know is that whatever happens, I'm gonna accept it.
you're in the same boat as every Metal Gear Solid 2 first timer.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, before Solidus and Raiden fight, they have a talk, and Raiden learns that Solidus just wants to destroy the Patriots because he thinks the Patriots are evil and he wants to liberate the world, and he thinks that the Patriots are going to take away freedom. So that's why he's called himself the Sons of Liberty because he wants to liberate the world and destroy the Patriots. He wants to take them down.
Yeah, so he's kind of the anti-hero in his own mind.
Yeah, so I mean his intentions are good, but I mean he's still a terrorist.
So like, I want to save the world, and if I have to kill a few moms on the way, I'll do it. That's kind of what he's thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bad guy, but good intentions.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. He then tells Raiden about his personal motivation, and he says that when the Leon Fonthetti project happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? You
The
remember
genes, yep.
the project to clone Big Boss?
Yes.
Um,
The successful project.
yes, the successful project. Liquid, Solid, and Solidus himself, they were all made so reproduction would be impossible.
Oh, they can't have babies.
No, they can't have children because I mean the whole thought process behind it is that like we want these people to be pawns. We want them to be pawns, and if they step out of line, they're done. We don't want them to raise kids of their own because
Yeah.
we're using them for our purpose, and then they're done. Then it's
Okay.
over with.
Okay.
So they were all made to not be able to reproduce. And Solidus is at the point where he's like, I don't have a legacy. I want a legacy.
Damn.
I like there nothing no one will remember me after I die. Like
Yeah.
I want something to carry on my legacy. I want someone to carry on my ideals.
Okay.
And he says that after everything that I've done, if I die and the Patriots win, my existence will be wiped from history.
Yeah.
So like
That's an existential thought that
I mean,
th-
Solidus will essentially,
that haunts us all, really.
yeah, I mean, he's kind of like, I'll cease to exist and no one will remember me because I can't even have kids to carry on my name for a couple of generations.
Right.
Um, and he's like, I want the Patriots gone so I can be remembered for something.
Okay.
I'm Solidus, the one who took down the Patriots, the
Yeah.
evil shadow government of the U.S.
Yep.
and just the U.S., definitely not the entire world.
Right. Definitely.
Okay.
Because you saying that doesn't contradict what you're saying.
What? No, definitely. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But they're like having this conversation and then Raiden starts getting a call on the codec.
Yeah.
And Solidus is like, you know what, just answer it. We're about to end things. Go ahead, answer it. Take your time.
Solace. Wait. So they're about to fight,
Well,
and
they're
Solace
about
is like, take that call.
yeah, because they're I mean they're gonna fight
It's
and
a
I mean
respectful fight, I guess.
yeah, I mean
Okay.
Solidus he definitely respects Raiden. He doesn't hate Raiden. He's just like
Because he's the one who revealed about the child
yes,
Jack the
I
Ripper
mean
thing.
he's the one who raised Raiden. Raiden is essentially Solidus's
You're
kid.
right. I did forget about
Yeah,
that.
he essentially is Raiden's father, which is another parallel to Solid Snake because Solid Snake killed Big Boss, his
Yep.
father.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's about to kill Solidus?
Um. Well, no, I'm saying the fight
No,
in
I'm just kidding.
general.
Yeah,
Solidus
no.
wins. Did I tell you this game has a bad ending? Okay.
Okay.
No, but he's like, it's like a respect, like, okay, just take the call or whatever.
Okay.
And okay, here it is.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm just gonna tell you, man, I cannot do this conversation justice without you playing the game. I cannot do it full
Noted.
justice,
Noted.
but I'm gonna try my best.
I believe in you.
Campbell tells Raiden, even though GW was halted and they thought that it was in disrepair, the AI itself is still fine. It's perfectly functional. It's just it was like a momentary lapse of like when everything was going all fucky. It was just a just momentary, but it's still fine. Campbell and Rose, both of them are AIs. It is revealed at this point. Basically, they talk about the growing rate of digitized information, and they say that all of this digitized information will eventually halt the human species as a whole, and evolution will cease. The never ending dump of information and trivial facts that the internet will produce will do nothing other than keep society from advancing by forcing everyone into their own little bubbles and echo chambers of only ever hearing what they want to hear.
Damn. Dude.
Rose's AI,
That.
then
Yeah. Okay. Keep going. I'll wait.
Rose's, because, yeah, I mean, in the game, you don't get time to process
I was
it.
gonna say,
So,
just give me all of it, and we'll
yeah,
talk about it after.
yep. Rose's AI then says, what we plan to do is not control the content, but create the context. Then Campbell says, the digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development on convenient half truths. Billions and billions are spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans. Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims. There are people suffering from poverty and dying in the streets every day, yet huge donations are made to protect endangered species that aren't humans. Everyone grows up being told the same thing: be nice to other people, but still beat out the competition, do what it takes to win. Campbell says that if humans are left to exercise their right to quote unquote freedom, that this is the result. It's all rhetoric to avoid conflict and to protect each other from having hurt feelings. The untested truths spun by different interests continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems. Everyone withdraws into small, gated little communities, afraid of larger forums, and they stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truths suit them into a growing cesspool of society at large.
Jesus.
No one is invalidated, but no one is right. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out in order to stimulate the evolution of species. They then say that they can only accomplish this because human error cannot wade through the sea of garbage that people produce, but they can. Raiden then says that he's like, I'm going to decide what I want to believe, and I will decide what my own truth is. But then Rose rightfully points out, isn't that just what Snake told you?
Wow.
Because remember earlier, Snake was like, you got to make your own decisions and find out what the truth is for
I
yourself.
remember that.
Yeah.
See, okay, but but he's still talking to an AI though, because Rose and Campbell are the same thing.
Yeah. This is all essentially the voice of the Patriots telling this to Raiden.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and they're just switching between the voices, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, Raiden, this catches him off. Like he's off guard. He's caught off guard by this. Um, they then proceed to just completely call humanity out even more. And I'm not kidding, man. This conversation is like 10 minutes long.
Damn,
It is
really?
just nonstop, just shitting on humanity as a whole. And just,
Wow.
okay,
It's interesting that the so-called people in control behind the scenes are shitting on what they've created.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
Um, man, I literally cannot do this justice. But like, if you ever actually like watch parts of Metal Gear after these episodes, this conversation is a must because it's just so philosophical as a whole that I think it's even good outside of the context of Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's definitely a critique on it's a critique on literally present day, which is 25, 24 years later.
Yeah, I told you this game was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Anyways, they proceed to say they basically say that there is no such thing as the self and that the self in reality is nothing more than a mask used to preserve positive emotions that are occasionally felt. They then call Raiden incompetent and say that humans lack the qualifications to exercise free will. They basically are like, you think you have free will and you want to have free will, but you don't have free will. Free will doesn't actually exist because you're just being controlled by what experiences you have already gone through,
Wow.
essentially.
Yeah.
So they're saying, we want to provide all of the context in order for you to have quote unquote free will. But it's not actually free will. We just know that the species will, if you as humans continue to evolve the way you are, you're going to fade out and die like the rest of all species.
So they want to kind of they want to
They want
be
to,
the they want to have the strings
they're puppeteering, like they want to puppeteer humanity into a form of where they can continue to exist. And
evolve.
yeah,
Okay.
essentially, that's what they're saying. Um, they then say that Ocelot didn't understand what the S3 plan was, and he was just spouting a bunch of nonsense. He thought he knew what it was. He didn't. That's the solid snake simulation is not what the S3 plan stands for.
Okay.
Um,
So they weren't gonna try to recreate Solid Snake.
they were. It's not for the reason Ocelot was thinking it was for.
Got it.
Um, basically, the S3 plan stands for the selection of societal sanity. And I straight up, I can't do this justice. But we're just, I mean, I'm just gonna keep going on and on. And it's so much. I wrote it down here. This whole thing is literally 12 minutes of mindfuckery.
Of dialogue.
Yes, of
Okay.
just a code. It's a 12-minute codec call.
A 12-minute call of shitting
Basically
on
calling
humanity.
humanity out, like you
Yeah.
guys are, you're gonna kill yourselves. Like you need to be controlled.
You need us to yeah.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. That conversation is why this game to me is like, oh my god. This game was so ahead of its time. This was in 2001, and yet Kojima just called out like the way the internet is today.
Yeah, because it is honestly a thing that I it's like when you think about the internet, because there's pros and cons to everything, and the internet is always evolving, I guess, which is also interesting. The internet's evolving, but we aren't.
I mean,
Uh-uh.
think about,
But I don't,
bro,
but
even just this game, even with like AI.
yeah,
Think about how prevalent AI has become in the past couple of years. It's to the
yeah.
point where like you're scrolling through YouTube and you see a video that's like, "Oh, I made this video with AI," and you roll your eyes. And yet this game was talking about how AIs are going to take over and like control the world from behind the scenes way back in 2001. Like I know they had that stuff with like Terminator, but that was more of like a in your face like, "Oh, the robots took over and killed everyone." This is more like a no, the AI takes the backseat. We're the shadows. We're controlling what you think by showing you what you want to see
Mm-hmm.
and putting you in bubbles so you do what would evolve the species. The what Campbell and Rose's AIs are saying is basically they want to control the information that the human populace consumes. That way the human populace only knows what they need to know and they do what they're told, but
Yeah.
they don't it's not like they're doing what they're told, they're doing what they're like made to think. Like they're made to think they want to do things when they're being told to do it subconsciously.
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like there are cases to be made in our present day where you could say that has happened before. And it's just crazy that this game came out in 2001.
Yeah, it is insane because that was before that was before a lot.
I
Like
mean,
the internet was nothing back
they
then.
I mean that's not even taking into account like the actual time where they were making this game because this game wasn't like it was made entirely in 2001. They
Yeah.
started making it after MGS1.
Yeah.
Like cuz they predicted 9/11. So it is like these thoughts that Kojima is having all happened before 9/11. Think
Yeah.
about that. In like the year of like 1999 or 2000, in those 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
this man thought of all this shit and then here we are in 2025 where a lot of it is maybe not all of it's realistic, but there's like you could definitely theorize and put some of these thoughts into our real world.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like it was up until like the 2010s maybe is when everything started getting more centralized to the internet because
I think I would agree. It was probably I think
but we were kids, so it's hard to really say.
yeah, I think from like I don't know, I would say it was probably like 2010 to 2012 is when the internet started becoming more of a focal point in everyday society.
Yeah. Because I mean, it was like the boom of social media,
Mhm.
which
Cuz like they had stuff
which was
before.
before,
Like
but
YouTube came out in 2005 and like they had like MySpace and shit
and
back then.
Facebook was like the
I think Facebook was like 2008, wasn't it?
honestly don't remember.
I don't know.
When did the social network come out? I think that came out like 2012.
I mean that dude, that movie's peak.
That is a great movie.
Anyways,
The yeah, there's yeah,
it's
this is
fucking
like
it's
I
it's
feel like
heavy, bro.
yeah, and these are I was social commentary. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes,
Like that's what this is.
yes,
Which
but it's social commentary 2 decades before it's like applicable.
yeah, because so like you brought up Terminator, like that's science fiction, and that's why science like I like science fiction just like I like fantasy. The cool thing about science fiction is it's usually a what if scenario and alternatively like social commentary combined with that. Like something that could eventually happen possibly or something that like they take a scientific theory and they say what if this was true, but this feels like science fiction in its own way even though it takes place during present day, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like which yeah, science fiction still does that, but I guess what I mean is the social commentary of this isn't about like a theory or it's just about the state of humanity.
it's just like human nature,
Yeah. But it's so prevalent.
dude. It's
It's like science fiction that has become true, minus the vampires.
no, those are real too. I've
Are
seen
they?
them. I've seen them.
Damn it, dude.
I
You never told me till now?
I mean, I am one.
No, you're not. Trying to
Bleh,
say that
blah
one.
bleh.
Don't give me that shit.
But
I
yeah,
know
dude.
you're not a vampire.
With all of that said, do you want to keep going?
Yeah.
How do you just in like three like in like a one sentence?
I don't know. Like, we're just
How
two
did that?
random dudes. We can't even speak on this. Even though we've spoken on this many times,
Yeah.
it's hard to just speak on it off rip because there's so
I
much to
also
speak
like
on.
I straight up that's what I'm saying, dude, is like I also with like the lack of seeing this for yourself. It's like I gave you like a minute of this 12-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think out of everything, if you ever actually experience something from Metal Gear without playing or just like if you just went on YouTube and like watched a cutscene or something, this is the moment I think you should because I just think it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy to just
And I
even
mean, it is still a theory, technically.
yeah.
Like it's not anything that we're saying is true, but it's something to think about.
But I mean, it raises the question, like, yeah, the Patriots are essentially going to be taking away free will, but do we want them to win? Because do we want them to win? Do we want them to lose? Because like
Yeah.
their whole thing is that you guys are gonna
They're
evolve.
essentially, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they're saying like democracy or freedom of choice, free will is actually a burden on humanity
Yes. That's exactly what they're saying.
because they're saying it leads to too many people thinking they're right
Yes. Versus if
versus
they're
versus
secretly
versus as opposed to them just following orders or following a specific path that will lead to what they say
it.
is going to progress humanity.
My personal opinion, the Patriots are still bad. I think that, but it does raise the question, and I feel like there
Well,
are arguments to be made that like some people could say they're being good, but in my opinion, what they're essentially describing is a tyranny, is
right. I was gonna
tyrannical
say,
rule over the world.
yeah, like
But they're not doing it because they want to have power. They're doing it because they want the human evolution. Like they want humans to evolve further, and they don't think that they will on their own.
so. I guess what I was trying to say earlier is it's really easy to like because evolving comes from not being comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not going to change as a person.
That's a good point because like it
There's no reason to evolve if you're comfortable.
if
And the
yeah.
and like I also said, not everybody in the world can be comfortable. And like there's people out there, all they're trying to do is survive. I mean, really, that's what everyone's doing, but you know what I mean. But I guess what the Patriots are being like is like with free will and with blah, 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 the internet and technology, like humanity's becoming too comfortable and they're not going to progress anymore.
So we will provide the context in which they will progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Heavy
Let's hear
shit.
some more, man.
Heavy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they close out this massive existential fucking just dreadful talk
Mm-hmm.
that just further destroys Raiden's own sanity. They close this
Yeah,
out.
I forgot about that. This dude, this man, this
He
man is going through it.
he is having a hard time,
It's
dude.
honestly, he's gone through more shit than Snake,
Yeah.
which is a crazy
I
thing.
don't know, because yeah, I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess I guess what I mean in like the span of time.
I mean, yeah, this is a lot more to intake
This
than
has been
Shadow
like an
Moses
hour.
was.
This has
Yes.
been like an hour and he's gone through hell.
Yeah. He is just fucking he hates his life.
Yeah.
But okay. They close that conversation and say, Raiden, you're gonna kill Solidus because if you don't, Olga's kid and Rose, we do have Rose. We weren't lying about that. You're gonna win, otherwise both of them will die. We'll kill both of them.
Yeah.
So Raiden, even though his mental state is like beyond crumpled, he complies and he's like, okay, well, I mean, I have to kill Solidus. So,
Because of Rose?
well, Olga's child as well.
Okay.
Because I mean,
Do you
it's
think he cares that much about Olga's child?
I think I think Raiden is like, I can't let these two people die because of my decision.
But he doesn't even know.
I
Like,
know, but I mean, think in your personal day, if someone said, "Hey, like, get into a fist fight in the street, otherwise I'll kill this person."
yeah, but if I don't see the person, like they're kind of just saying it, you know?
Well, Olga also backed up that they have her child. Like
Yeah, which is
he is
true.
Olga also has lied to him, but also has told the truth
Like
after
Olga,
lying to
Olga's
him.
definitely gonna be.
And Olga died for this.
Yeah, Olga.
Like it's clear that Olga believed it. So it's like Raiden, he does
Okay,
believe.
you're right. She literally died.
She literally died because
That's pretty good reason to trust
if
her.
you don't,
Yeah,
if you die, then my child dies, so I'll die instead, in your stead, you know.
yeah.
So Raiden's like, I can't let Olga's kid die for this, so he fights Solidus. But real quick, before we actually fight Solidus,
But like, what are they just gonna give the child back? No,
yeah, but I mean that gives Raiden more time to like try to find the child.
I
Because if
guess
they just kill the child right now, then
they have no
they
leverage.
have no
That's
leverage.
true. They want to
And
maintain that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so real quick, right before like the call ends, and right before Raiden starts fighting Solidus, Solidus gives us one more thing. He tells Raiden that Solidus was in fact the one who killed Raiden's real parents.
Okay.
I know this part. This part,
No,
I
actually though, like
it makes sense,
it
but at
makes
the
sense
same
because he
time, it's
he
just kind of like, okay, Solidus, let's just get the fight on.
yeah, like he could have also said that earlier. Like
Yeah,
when he said that he found him as a child, he could just been like,
I
"I killed
think
your parents and stole you."
I think it's just it didn't age well. I think it's just dialogue that didn't age well because
Yeah,
it's just kind of like, all right, Solidus, let's fucking shut up, let's fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I mean, I did kind of have to tell you that, and
yeah.
that's when he tells
I
Raiden.
mean,
So,
that is important.
but yeah, boss battle ensues. This boss battle, um, it's a sword fight.
Okay.
Solidus pulls out his own high frequency blade, and you have an
Yes,
epic sword fight
that's pretty cool.
in the destroyed Manhattan on a piece of Arsenal gear that's like destroyed. Like there's a
Nice.
piece of Arsenal gear laying between like two skyscrapers, and that's where you two are, and you like fight in the burning wreck of Manhattan. Um, and it's a really cool boss fight. It's actually fairly difficult too. Like I'm not gonna lie, this part's actually pretty hard.
Yeah. You know what? This might sound bad. I feel like I like Raiden more than Snake.
I feel like that's probably because I've characterized Raiden more, and I've given you a lot more of like the conversations and shit, and Raiden has been through more right now. But I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
feel
you
like it is
will.
like you said the
I feel
characterization
like eventually you'll like Snake more. But honestly, me personally would not fault you if you liked Raiden more than Snake.
because it's not like I dislike either of them, Snakes, but like cuz here's the thing. Snake reminds me of that character that he's just
Snake
he
feels in this game. Snake feels more like the mentor character.
yeah, but like over all the games like Snake's so like when Snake if I just imagine Snake killing Big Boss and then finding out it was his dad, he'd be like, "Oh no." But like that's that.
Yeah.
But
Whereas you see
I
Raiden's
visualize
actual.
Ryan as like this character who's so unsure of himself and he's trying to figure out what's going on and then he everything like he's realizing his life's a lie, he's breaking down, he's going through shit and yet at the end here he is still trying to pursue good and all this. And Snake I just imagine Snake being like Snake's just I don't know. Snake's always going to be Snake.
That's fair. I mean, I can't fault you, and I will say I'm glad you like Raiden because when this game came out, everyone hated Raiden.
Which I also understand that because it's a big polarizing
Yeah.
change.
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally love Raiden. I like Snake more. I love Snake more than Raiden.
What
Hot take.
did people not like Raiden even after finishing the game?
Yeah, no, I mean like Raiden was hated in the community for probably a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think people understood this game when it came out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're looking back at it in hindsight, and this game has grown a lot more of a cult following in the years since. But
Yeah.
when this game came out, people didn't like this game because of like the cutscenes are way longer. I mean, there's so much more codec calls. Like, there's so much going on that sometimes it feels like,
Oh, I can imagine actually if I played the game I might have a different opinion.
yeah,
Yeah, that's probably the thing.
where I'm giving you like a condensed story version
Exactly.
versus
Yeah.
playing like a 30-hour game experience.
And you actually you know what I was trying to say is with Snake, it feels like he's going on missions because it's the right thing to do. Whereas, like, he's like, oh well, they have nukes. I guess that's not good. Let's stop that.
Yeah,
Whereas Raiden's literally just Raiden's agenda is fluctuating based off of his character development, and I think that's cool.
yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I don't fault you. I'm glad you like Raiden. I think your opinion will change when we get the
I'm sure.
MGS four,
Yeah.
but also MGS four might double down your opinion.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay.
But Raiden does end up besting Solidus, and he's left standing in the wreckage of Manhattan. Like he's just kind of looking around, and he's like, "What do I even do now?"
Mm-hmm.
And then Snake shows up.
Yep.
Solid Snake. The
Yep.
last time we saw him, he was
He
chasing Ray.
was yeah, he was chasing a robot
Yeah. Um,
in the water.
but he kind of shows up, and he's like, "Hey, I know all that shit with the AI and the Patriots just really mind fucked you, man. But I'm so serious. You gotta let go of it and just decide what the truth is yourself." And I mean, I know they said that you only believe that because I told you to believe that, but like I don't know. You just got to figure it out for yourself, man.
Yeah, because
Like, I mean,
choosing to believe what you think is right because someone told you to believe what you think is right is not isn't that's not like a
yeah,
I mean, like if someone tells you that, you doing that is not being like, well, it's because they told me, but they literally told you to think for yourself. So
yeah. So
yeah,
Snake's like, yeah, just
they really didn't do
they
much
were
by
they
saying that.
they were mind fucking you. No, because like it did fuck with him. He's like, Snake did tell me that. Like, am I thinking for myself?
Yeah, but
But Snake's like, I don't take this because I'm telling you to do it. Think for yourself.
right,
Like Snake's like, make your own truth, make your own history,
yeah.
and decide what you want to pass on. And Snake then tells Raiden he was able to get a tracking transmitter on the Ray, on the Metal Gear Ray, before it like eventually swam away, and like he couldn't keep going. So he got a tracker on it, and then he says that even though Liquid said he knows the location of the Patriots, Snake's like, I don't think that even Ocelot really knew who the location of the Patriots were. Like, Liquid said he knows, but I don't think he does. I think he probably either got a fake address or like he's talking out his ass because there's no way.
Well, he said he knew the specific people.
Y- Yeah. Well, yeah, but
Okay,
Snake's like, I don't think that's true.
okay.
Um, and I'm
Just
just
going
gonna,
off a gut feeling.
I'm gonna give you a heads up. It's not.
What? Okay,
Liquid was, I mean, he thought he knew. Like he had bad information essentially.
I see. There's a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the main themes of this game is what to believe. What like this whole game is about misinformation.
Oh yeah,
The whole Patriots thing is like misinform the populace into doing what we want.
yes.
Yeah. Um. So then Snake he reveals that he was able to get the list of the Patriots' names from the like from Arsenal Gear. Like he found it while he was in Arsenal Gear, and
In Arsenal gear.
yeah. So Snake found the list of the actual Patriots' names in Arsenal Gear,
Okay.
like from the GW system.
Ah, that makes sense because
Like,
that is the Patriots.
yes,
Yeah.
essentially. Snake then says that Raiden he needs to go figure out what he believes and that he's gonna leave a legacy of his own. Because Raiden's like, okay, well then I'll help you, and Snake's like, no, no, go do your own thing, man. I got my
Mm,
thing. Go do your own thing. Become your own person.
I like that.
So Raiden throws away his dog tags, which it's cool because you get to put your name on the dog tags at the beginning of the game. Like it'll ask you what your name is, and you like engrave them into the dog tag.
Hmm.
So it's like Raiden is now taking control away from the player and throwing it away, and
Oh, that's a cool
he's
visual.
like I'm no longer being controlled by what this game or what the player is telling me. He's
Yeah.
like I'm making my own story.
Hmm.
So this is the moment where Raiden's like I'm my own character.
Nice.
Because, but like you said multiple times, it's like so weird to think about Raiden just standing by and watching all this shit happening. But Raiden in this game is essentially a vessel for the player.
Yeah.
He's essentially, I mean, you're learning it. Raiden is learning everything as you're learning it. It's like Raiden doesn't know what's going on. It's basically Raiden is you.
Yes.
Um, and this is the moment where Raiden's like, no, I'm going to be my own person. And he throws away the dog tags, taking control away from the player and becoming his own character.
That's cool. And is Arsenal is Arsenal like deactivated then? Like,
Well, I mean, it rammed into Manhattan and was completely destroyed
yeah,
upon
I meant to ask
impact.
you that. So it did get destroyed.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
is completely destroyed upon impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So, Rose shows up
In person?
in person. It's the real Rose.
What is about to happen?
She shows up, and right now, I guess I need to mention one of the biggest theories about this game. Because, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but this whole last like hour that I've been telling you, everything's very dreamy.
Yes.
Everything's very fever dreamish. This, the biggest theory about this game is called the VR theory. And essentially, a lot of people think that portions of this game
Like what I said, like
are not real.
are not real.
Like they didn't happen. Like a lot of the game is actually a VR simulation in itself.
Mm.
Like it would explain why certain things don't make sense, like the ladder leading up into the central core of Arsenal just disappearing after you get there, or you know Rose just randomly being here in Manhattan. I should also mention that like while you're standing in Manhattan, there's people walking around you, and they're walking nonchalantly. Like they're just kind of
As if it didn't just ram into the
as
New
if there wasn't a
Manhattan.
ginormous Metal Gear completely destroying Manhattan.
Interesting.
There's a it's a big theory, and I don't know the exact like it would take me a while to explain the theory, and also I don't know everything off the top of my head.
Could also be like just the visual of people so desensitized or so like they don't care because of what the Patriots were talking about. It's just they're just going about their
Yeah.
normal
I will tell you,
life.
I don't believe the VR theory. I don't think it's true. I think there's too much that stack up against it, and I don't. It has a lot of credibility. There are parts where it's like very credible. Like there's this one part when Snake and Raiden meet back up on Arsenal gear.
Yeah.
Raiden's like, "Well, there's no like, do you have ammo or anything? Like, are you good on supplies?" And Snake points at his bandana. He goes, "Infinite ammo." Because remember, an object you could get in the first game is the infinite ammo bandana.
Yeah.
So it's
Or the
like
suit.
there's a
Yeah, I
lot
remember
of
that.
stuff in this game that feels video gamey like that, and like that's very out of character for Snake. But me personally, I think it's just a cheesy nod back to like the item from the last game. Just like
Okay.
how Snake had the cloak at the beginning of this game, like the stealth camo. Like it's just a nod back.
Yeah.
But I personally don't believe the VR theory. It's just a thing, and I mean, if you want to, like when we're done, you could look it up yourself. Even for everyone listening at home, you could look into the VR theory. Um, and I really, it holds credibility until MGS4, because MGS4 takes pretty much all of the credibility out of the VR theory's sales, which is why I don't believe it. You know,
Okay. Because I
um,
feel like the VR theory, um, because I originally thought that only because I was thinking the implant, the Kodak in his brain, kind of could change what he was seeing in front of
no,
him.
I mean that's definitely very valid to
So I don't
think
know
that.
though. But yeah, I mean obviously there's a lot more.
I think a lot of the shit in after like once you get into Arsenal gear, a lot of it doesn't make sense, and I think it's more so to put the player into a perspective of like confusion and putting you more into Raiden's shoes. Um, I also think that Raiden isn't like you said. I don't think it's because of something like that. I just think that like his mental state breaking is why certain things are being perceived the way they are, you know,
Hmm.
me personally. But like I said, after the events of MGS4, I 100% the VR theory is not like it's MGS4 like throws it under the bus and basically renders it useless.
Yeah.
But if this game were a standalone, I probably would believe the VR theory.
Hmm.
But since MGS4 exists, I don't, which means I'm not going to go super in depth into it.
Yeah. So what is Rose doing?
Um,
What is she here for? Does she speak?
I mean, she basically comes up to Raiden and is like, "Hey, Raiden, I love you." And he's like, "You know what, Rose? I'm gonna forge my own path." And he puts his arm around her, and then they like start walking away.
What?
It's part of the like what I said. It's like it's very
It's
out of
whack.
very whack. It's why people think that a lot like there's whole sections of this game that aren't real.
Because the whole thing with her
This
is
section is one of those sections that people don't think is real.
because every scene in the game was not her.
Yeah, because like Rose shows up and Snake shows up. No one is even acknowledging the fact that there's a Metal Gear sitting in the middle of Manhattan. It's very dreamlike. It's very, very, very weird.
So wait, he puts his arm around her. Does that mean he's with her?
I mean, that she is his girlfriend. He has met Rose in real life.
I don't. So he's not. He's stopped. So he's not believe. So
Because
he's.
before this mission, Rose was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And at the start of this mission, when Rose was brought on, it's like, oh hey, Rose is here, but that's just an AI. So this mission is the only time where
So
Rose hasn't been real.
the whole thing that when they revealed that she was with the Patriots the whole time, did he not believe that anymore, or does he still believe that and he's accepting it?
I think he I think he believes it, but I think he's accepting it and is like, no, I'm gonna figure it out myself.
But
And
he hasn't
like,
talked to her about it yet.
well, yeah, I'm assuming that will happen after the game's credits roll. Like, because he
Okay.
kind of is just like, I'm gonna forge my own path, and then like they
Yeah.
start walking off together.
That scene does rub me the wrong way though. I don't mean
Yeah,
like as a critique. I just mean it makes me
it's
think.
very weird. No,
It
I'm
makes yeah.
fully agreeing with you. It's very dreamlike.
Yeah.
It's extremely weird that Rose would just show up.
Yeah.
like in person. It's extremely weird. This whole entire ending is fucking weird.
Yeah, honestly, her character doesn't really make sense when you think about it. Because they could have done,
But then
they could have
again,
had,
maybe the Patriots were just planting more misinformation to make him think that Rose was bad the whole time,
yeah, but like they could
which
have had
is
all her dialogue just be Campbell, like her even existing in the game.
I think no, because it is like a way to like you said earlier, the fact that Rose is here puts more trust into Campbell because she's working with him and he knows Rose.
You're right. Yeah, that actually does add credibility. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, my own personal theory is I think that the Patriots were lying. I don't think Rose was actually a spy for the Patriots the entire time.
Yes,
I think they
because
used it as a way to make Ryden more emotionally
unsettled.
unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go into it, but when we see more of MGS4, Rose is still around,
Mm-hmm.
and she does exist. Like she's a character, and I think that with Rose's character specifically, she meets Raiden. They have their relationship. Raiden goes on this mission. The Patriots create an AI of Rose, and then basically fuck with Raiden throughout the entire game, making him think that Rose wasn't real the whole time when she was. But it's just
Yeah,
the Patriots fucking with Raiden.
because they need somebody like Campbell to be the one in charge, but they need somebody like Rose to validate the
Yes,
Campbell.
and I will say there are multiple times throughout the game where Raiden's like, I can't do this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, even think about the beginning of the game when Campbell's like, yeah, we're bringing Rose on as a specialist, like,
And he's
as
like,
an
why?
analyst. He's like, why would you do that? Like, I have personal ties to her. Like, that can't be okay. And Rose comes in and she's like, Jack, it's okay. I'm here to help you out.
Yeah.
And then it basically, he's like, okay, Rose. And like, it puts more trust into Campbell because Rose is like going along with everything Campbell says.
Yes.
So I think Rose is a real character. I don't think I know Rose is a real character, but
Well,
I
yeah.
think pretty much everything that happened throughout the game until this point with Rose is all misinformation the Patriots have been giving to Ryden to further unsettle him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, confusing.
Yeah.
But
Because they also probably brought her in to parallel the end of the last game with Meryl and Snake kind of going off,
yeah,
and now it's just him and Rose going off. So
yeah.
maybe that's why they brought her in.
And I will say because like we're pretty much at the end. So I'm going to like the whole reason that everything was paralleled, it wasn't the Solid Snake simulation. Do you remember in the part 1 of Metal Gear Solid 2 that we covered, Emma Emmerich said there was one mass um experiment that the Patriots needed to do to fill in one more blank that GW has before it could be operational.
No.
Yeah, so basically, Emma, I did say this. If you
Okay.
listen back to the last episode, you'll hear it.
Okay.
But there is a she's basically like GW is essentially operational, but there's one more thing that the Patriots want to give GW's like artificial intelligence. They want to give it this information.
Yeah.
So basically, they were recreating Shadow Moses as a way to conduct how a soldier like Solid Snake would work. So they have more insight into someone in the mental state of Solid Snake. That way they could control someone even like him. Because Solid Snake is a very much his own man. He's his own free thinker.
So they recreated it so they could understand how someone like him would react to situations.
Yes. They put someone who is not Solid Snake into the shoes of Solid Snake and even recreated complete scenarios around it so they could see like how a person would react who is not Solid Snake. Like how would a regular person react in these scenarios and
Yeah.
how can we control them?
Mm.
Basically giving them more information on how they can control soldiers even to the scale of Solid Snake.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That was like the big
But what
that
what
was the
why
experiment.
did they need that information again?
Well,
Because
it's
what are they gonna do? Is it to control people?
yes, because then they have that information, so now they can put that into their database of how certain people function in certain scenarios, and that gives them more context on
Mm.
how they can control certain
So it was
people.
one giant social experiment.
Essentially, yes. Essentially, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Raiden walks off, and that's the roll credits. So, I mean, what do we know? Is that
We know nothing.
no? I mean, like the Patriots essentially won.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Solidus
actually, like being for real,
Solidus dies.
we know that the yeah, but see the reason I say we know nothing is because like there's still so much out there. Like you
Do you
said, this game
okay,
is all about misinformation.
do you want me to tell you what is factual with my knowledge of the rest of the series?
No, no, no. You can keep that. We can keep that in the air
Okay.
because I think that's definitely the draw of like of wanting to kind of get into the because if I were playing these games in real time, once I finish this game, yeah, it's like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You want to understand.
Okay.
So leave that up there.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But
Um,
yeah, you're right. The Patriots did actually because they succeeded in the
I
social
mean,
experiment.
solid. Their social experiment was a success. GW is still operational.
Dude, it's funny that a Metal Gear has never successfully done what a Metal Gear has been made to do.
Yeah.
One time.
Well, I mean, Ray was made to destroy other Metal Gears, and then they used it to protect Arsenal, and then Arsenal was destroyed. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a Metal Gear has never done what a Metal Gear was made to do.
Well, that's because some awesome badass military man always comes in and fucks it up.
Oh yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not saying that as like a it's just funny that this game is called Metal Gear, but Metal Gears are kind of just
Metal Gear.
they're just there.
Metal Gear.
Like they are the crux. They are always the center until you realize they're never the center.
They're never. No, that is. I mean, the actual Metal Gears of the Metal Gear franchise is never the main threat,
Yeah.
which is weird.
They're pawns.
Also, Metal Gear is just. It sounds cool, dude. It's just
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
and they always look cool, and they are a threat. I mean,
No, I like it.
also Metal Gear Ray is still out there.
Yeah.
Ocelot, who is being controlled by Liquid Snake, got away in Metal Gear Ray. Snake said he put a tracker on him, but I mean, he got away.
Yeah.
The Patriots won. Their social experiment was completed.
Yep.
They basically they filled in GW's blanks. GW is fully operational. Solidus is dead. So I mean, this is the Empire Strikes Back of Metal Gear. I mean, the bad guys won.
It's always the second one.
I mean, it's a good like story structure.
Oh, it is. No,
It
I
really
agree.
is.
Some of my favorite stories are the second in the series is sometimes the best.
Because I mean, you always want your protagonist to win, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot more tragic and like, oh my god, and it gets you more invested when they don't.
Yeah, because you have a lot more character development when things aren't going right. And you have and you have a lot more satisfaction when they finally do go right. And just the fact that you can pull off you can just have such better plot twists and things like that because nobody expects something to end with a loss.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Uh,
I do like where this is left off though.
um, but yeah, do you want to hear a little bit about Kojima's his own motivations behind this game?
Yeah.
So the whole reason this game leaves in the way it does, it's like there's still stuff to be had. It's like the reason why a lot of this was the way it was is because this was meant to be Hideo Kojima's last Metal Gear. He
Really?
said before this game came out, he's like, "This is my final Metal Gear." He wanted to pass down the series to like his underlings. Underlings sounds way harsher than it is. I mean, like the people he worked with.
Yeah.
He basically wanted to step away and work on other things and let the rest of his team take Metal Gear into new areas. That's why there's so many open questions. Who
Okay.
are the Patriots? Oh my God, they won. Like, what is Snake gonna do next? Like, there's so much that is left unanswered.
Yeah.
And basically, Hideo Kojima put all these pieces in there. Like, what is the lolly lula lo?
Mhm. And why the fuck is it called that?
Kojima put all this shit in there, and he basically was like, "Here, here's a bunch of shit for you guys to go off of."
Yeah.
And he basically was like, "It's your guys's now." That's why there's so many themes in this game about passing down on your legacy and like,
Mm.
what do you think is true? What do you choose your own story? There's like that's why there's a lot of themes in this about passing down your own memories
Wow. That's
and shit
yeah.
like that. And Hideo Kojima wanted this to be his last Metal Gear. Spoiler, it is not his last Metal Gear.
Yeah. So I've heard.
We will get more into that as the games progress. I'm just going to tell you that now, though.
Okay.
Because, I mean, obviously, I said that the only games we're covering are the canon ones
Mm-hmm.
and maybe Rising, but we might cover Rising at a later time. I'm not sure. But the actual canon Metal Gears are all directed by Hideo Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly there's more.
Yeah.
But this was intended to be his last Metal Gear. And we'll leave that there for now.
Okay.
But that's the end of the game.
What a good game. What a roller coaster of a game. What's that look? What is that look?
What? Am I giving you a look?
It's not the end.
Oh, wait, motherfucker. There's a post credit scene.
Of course. There
Yeah,
has
there's a
to be.
post credit
There
scene.
has to be.
There has to be. Anyways, this post credit scene. It's another blank screen like in the last game where
Just audio.
it's just audio. Um, we hear Snake and Otacon talking. Otacon tells Snake that he was able to find out the names of the Patriots from the disc that Snake stole from GW.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was able to find out their names.
Okay.
Otacon then says, "It's really weird though because they're all dead. All of
Right.
the Patriots are dead."
Okay.
And Snake says, "Oh, like when did that happen?" And Otacon says, "They all died about 100 years ago." And Snake says, "What the hell?"
That's it.
That's the end.
That's the
That's
end.
the end.
Uh,
What the hell?
what the
And
hell?
that's the end. Like you get a little like music sting, and there you go. That's the end.
Nice.
It's Metal Gear Solid 2, everybody. We finally fucking did it.
Dude, you know what though? It makes sense that they would all be dead people because that's the best way to conceal your identity. But at the same time, if it's 100 years ago,
I cannot tell you more at this time. However, I will say
well, also
it's
like
it's
there's
interesting.
like I
It's
said,
interesting.
there's so much misinformation. Otacon could have just probably found a pamphlet
I'll
for
I will tell you.
don't.
Don't
I'm just kidding. Go
don't.
ahead. Go ahead.
Otacon's not lying. That
Yeah.
post credit scene's that's not misinformation. That's
Okay.
true. Otacon's
Okay.
not lying right there.
It's just this. It's just there's the trust issues.
That yeah, I mean this franchise really likes to give you trust
It
issues.
does. Yeah.
How
But
do
they.
how,
But
how do you feel, Justin, from going from Metal Gear, the original, just like Snake infiltrates, stops Metal Gear, kills Big Boss, to Metal Gear Solid, where there's still a lot going on. But again, can you see what I mean by Metal Gear Solid is still simplistic compared to this?
oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, this is like.
Like, how do you feel about the progression so far?
Well, the progression's interesting because the first two games were like you said more simplistic, but not simple in their own right. They just they only had maybe like one twist at the end, you know?
Yeah,
And then these last couple games have been yeah, they've been a lot more. But
yeah.
also the fact that this game was so similar to the last one, other than I guess more so in the vibe. The vibe felt the exact same.
It's very similar vibe. I mean, it's a lot less because like the first game has a lot more of a brooding atmosphere.
Mm,
Like it's a very much more of a dark tone. This
yeah.
game has less of a dark tone, but the actual themes that the game is
I
like
was gonna
exploring are
say,
a lot darker.
this game is darker.
You know the song "Hey Ya" by Outkast? You
Yes.
know how the lyrics are like sad and like kind of fucked up, but the actual song sounds like really poppy and like
Yeah,
uptuned.
like pumped up kicks.
Yeah, same thing. Like the actual game itself, the vibe is a lot like there's vampires, like you're blowing up Metal Gears, like there's a lot of like it does not feel as dark because like it's daytime out. Like there's a lot of like these big action set pieces versus in the first game where it's night and you got this brooding dark music over the whole thing. This game
Yeah.
is a lot more of a cyber feel. It's like super futuristic and it's like
Whereas in this
whoa.
game, there's a 12-minute monologue from an AI talking about the
Yes.
human the human condition.
The last game's presentation was dark and brooding, but the actual messaging of the game was pretty straightforward. This game is super like it's not super light and optimistic, but it's not as dark and brooding as the first game. However, the messaging is arguably darker than the
Which,
first
if he
one.
thought this was gonna be his last game, I guess that makes sense. He
Yeah.
wanted to kind of get his thoughts out there.
I will say, I agree that Hideo Kojima is he's got a lot in his head and I think a lot of it works. I think a lot of it works. There's shit that I don't think, and I keep saying that, but I mean genuinely.
Yeah, I'm
We
interested to
won't
see what
we won't
where that
really get to
goes.
the stuff that I really dislike until MGS4.
Okay.
Um, But when we get to MGS4, from then on, there's things I don't like.
Okay.
But from Metal Gear all the way to Metal Gear Solid 3, I pretty much like everything he does.
And you can finally have a convo with me about it because I'll know the context.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
100%.
that's gonna be nice.
And I will say this, to your benefit and everyone else's that's listening's benefit. Metal Gear Solid 3, so much more simplistic than this game. You're gonna get a nice little break of just good story. Just like a good simplified story versus this ginormous, monstrous, just think piece.
Yeah, yeah. This is gonna be something that like you play the game and you're gonna always think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I still think about it.
Yeah.
I go to bed at night and all I'm thinking about is the conversation between Raiden and
Really?
Campbell AI
How many nights?
every night.
Every night.
Yeah. Even when I'm just like taking a shit, I'm just like,
Wow.
do we have free will?
Well, it seems like you need to do what Raiden did and
Choose my own.
just leave just leave it behind and throw away your dog tags.
But what good content would that make?
No, we're talking about your life.
My life is content.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you hold on. So
I have been an AI this
you've
whole
been an
time.
AI this whole time.
Yeah. Classic Metal Gear twist.
Damn. So what am I? You're a vampire, an AI, and
Metal Gear.
in a Metal Gear.
I am a Metal Gear.
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but with that super amazing Pigpen podcast twist, we're gonna have to wrap up.
Yeah, man.
Leave you on a cliffhanger. But the next episode we will be covering Metal Gear Solid 3. It'll be a lot more simple, so get ready for it. Where can you find us, Justin?
If you're listening on YouTube, you can also find us on Spotify. And if you're listening on Spotify, we are obviously also on YouTube.
Yep, and it's Pigpen Podcast for both of them. Um, but yeah, with that, I we'll see you in the next episode, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. If you're like touching yourself or taking a shit, we're here for you, and we love all of you.
Or
And
if you're doing both at the same time.
I mean, I am right now, actually.
God damn it, dude. The reveals.
I know. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Love you all.
Bye.